the lower corner there. Wow,
This is just a clip, though.
this is just a clip.
Yeah,
This
it's a
is not.
40-second clip.
Oh, okay.
Wow, but he's got a green screen and everything.
Yeah,
That's some
he
legit.
is set up. Okay, so I guess I should go back to his channel. Oh, now it says he's live. Okay, here we go. Is this live? I think. Oh yeah, it says live. Upper right hand corner. Okay, here we go. So this is Nate. This is our good friend. He's going to be one of the players who's playing tonight. He's got a great stream quality here. Right now, what they're doing is they're looking at the other team. They're looking at what champions they play, and they're trying to figure out what their pick and ban strategy is. There's about 144 champions in this game, maybe 145, and both teams are able to pick from that pool to select which champions they want. And so right now they're trying to figure out who they want to play, and then you're also allowed to ban 5 champions that no one's allowed to play. So they're trying to figure out which champions the enemy team is good at and which ones they might want to ban.
So just like in real sports where you may be like scouting your opponents to know how to counter them, they're doing that here. So they can see the match history from people on the team they're playing and champions that they've been good at or maybe not so good at, so they can kind of plan against them. If they notice that there's a champion that is like particularly good, they might actually choose to ban that person in order to prevent the other team from having that advantage.
One really advanced strategy they can also do is they can, if they notice that there's a champion that the enemy team plays that our friends are good at, our friends can choose that champion because there can actually only be one instance of each champion in the game. So they can deny that champion from the other team by picking it for themselves.
And you have Nate muted, is that correct?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'd hear all. Yeah, no, we'd hear all 5 people in their chat, and that would be a lot. So if you're with us right now, thanks for watching. We are going to be, after this phase, we're going to be showing a video that kind of explains the very basics of League that Riot made. That's the company that makes League of Legends. So if stuff doesn't make sense right now, that's totally okay, because we're going to have a short delay in between this, what they call the draft phase, and then the actual game starting. And so we're going to show that video, and that's going to explain a lot of basic concepts. So if things don't make sense quite yet, that's totally fine. And that's kind of...
Let's take this opportunity now to introduce ourselves, right?
That's a great idea, Justin. Go ahead.
All right, I'm Justin Nelson, JJ Young guy. I'm just, I guess, I don't know. I suggested we introduce ourselves, but I don't really have anything to say. I've been playing League now for maybe about a year, so I'm fairly new. Probably the least experienced of the crew here, and I'm kind of going to be doing some elementary commentary and hopefully trying to ask the questions that other people who are new might also have.
Yeah, and I'm Joseph Miller. I'm Wandering Kite on a lot of different places, including in League of Legends. Although I guess I'm Soupy89 on Twitch, which is an older handle that I used to have. I've been playing League for a few years, and I really enjoy the team element of it. I enjoy a lot of sports, and League is one of them. I also like basketball and Ultimate. Looks like today our friends are playing as the Minneapolis Marshmallows. Great name.
That's a great team name.
And their 3-letter tag is MMM.
What's the third M? Oh, marshmallows.
Marshmallow
has 2 M's.
It might also be like, marshmallows.
So, okay, now why are they typing and not just talking in voice?
I think
taking notes?
Yeah, taking notes on who they're looking to ban. So there's about 45 seconds left in the phase where they're scouting, and then we're going to move on to the draft phase where they actually do the picks and bans. And then, oh, that's an enormous pink mug. Wow, I'm jealous. And then we'll get into the actual game. And so in between the draft phase and the game is when we'll show the video that explains the basic concepts.
So he's taking notes right now on the players that they're going to potentially block the other team from playing as.
Yep, that's right. There are 2 rounds of bans, and so they have two different opportunities, but then there are pick phases in between the rounds of bans. You'll kind of see how it all plays out. So there's kind of high priority bans they want to do so that the enemy team has no opportunity to pick them, and then there are lower priority bans where the enemy team will get some picks before that happens.
This is like a game before the game.
Yeah, it's a whole element of the strategy that's really especially important at the really high level of pro play, and then is also important in just our kind of amateur fun level in Clash too.
So right now they have some champions sort of like selected that they might play as, but what they're potentially doing is trying to bait the other teams into either banning them or thinking that they're gonna play as these people, just to kind of do some trickery potentially.
Right, the enemy team can only see one champion at a time highlighted when they're about to pick them, but by hovering something that they're not going to play, they might make the enemy team think that that's a champion that's coming up later. It's a very odd strategy that only really applies to Clash, but it looks like there's a Soraka ban and a Lux ban coming out. So the Soraka ban for Julia and the Lux ban for potentially Julia or Nate against our friends. Oh, the Garen ban comes out against Joe. That's I know a champion he really likes for its relative safety. He might be playing Aatrox here. I know that's probably his next most favored character. If they run an Aatrox, if the enemy team also bans Aatrox as a character for Joe to play, I'm not sure what he's going to do.
Yeah, I was wondering that myself.
Those are the champions I see him most often on, and Joe plays a lot of champions, but just for Clash specifically, I've seen him on Aatrox and Garen. So I just don't know what his next choice would be. Oh, looks like the enemy team has picked Jhin, who's actually a champion that Cole plays a lot.
Yeah, I know that yesterday Cole was playing Clash as well, and Jhin was picked against Cole, and Cole was disappointed.
That's right. Yeah. So it looks like the enemy team kind of engaged in that strategy of the denial pick, where they took it because they think that they can play it pretty well, and also that, and that way they can deny Cole playing it too. It looks like they locked in the Zac for Jamie, big green blobby guy, very exciting. And then Nate is actually going to be on Yasuo, who he's really excellent on, very high impact character, a lot of really powerful abilities. Very exciting to see Nate on the Yasuo here. Looks like Joe's playing against the Darius again 3 times in a row. We'll see how this goes. Darius, so tough to play against. Joe's had a lot of practice, so we'll see how it goes. Enemy team brings in the Braum as a defensive big shield champion, and Julie actually gets her top pick Nami, a fish that is has a lot of really helpful abilities for the team.
And now they're entering ban phase 2, I think, soon.
Yeah, that's right. So each team has picked 3 champions now, and now they're able to each ban 2 more champions. Looks like our team has banned a lot of their junglers. Jungle is one of the positions in the game, and it looks like 3 of their bans have been aimed at the jungle. They're going to aim a Jinx ban at Cole, the enemy team. So yeah, Cole's top 2 champions, Jhin and Jinx. So now he's playing maybe his 3rd best champion, maybe Caitlyn.
Wow, so they're either they got really lucky with these picks, or the other team was using the information that the game provides in the scouting phase and picked against these Jinx and Jhin on purpose.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. It looks like another ban aimed at Joe actually with a Scion. So Joe might play Poppy here. I know he's played some Poppy games pretty successfully. Poppy is a little character with a big hammer. Very exciting. And actually combos quite well with Yasuo. Oh, that's right. Cole's been practicing Sivir, so it looks like he locks in the Sivir. Sivir, very long range champion, a lot of mobility, can move very fast.
So one thing that is kind of confusing, or can be confusing, is after every champion is picked, you can actually swap with your teammates. So if you look in the top here, the Dandelion picks Zac, but they'll end up trading with Forgot About Tuba to give Forgot About Tuba the Zac champion.
That's right. That's
so
yeah, go ahead.
Forgot About Tuba is picking the champion for Well, actually, I'm not certain,
For-
but not for themselves, but
for-
for one of their teammates.
That's right. Yeah, a huge part of this is that you're prioritizing which roles you want to pick for, and so you're not necessarily picking your own champion in the order you're in because you have this ability to trade, which just adds a whole other layer of strategy to the game. So let's see, who are they going to lock in for Joe? I'm guessing it's Poppy here. We'll see.
Aatrox.
Oh yeah, they left Aatrox open. Oh, you're right. So yeah, maybe it's the Aatrox. I forgot about that. I thought they had banned that too, but
If he
they
doesn't
banned the
pick
Scion.
Aatrox, I will be very surprised.
They're really thinking about this one. There's so many considerations to make because you have to think about how it's going to go in the early game. Yep, there's the Aatrox.
There's also a chance that someone said, "Hey, drag out your pick as long as possible. I have to run to the bathroom."
That's also a very real possibility. So now, yeah, you'll see the trades start to happen now. You'll see the champions flip flop as they switch their champions around. So there goes a trade between Jamie and Joe. And then
Cole and Jamie traded as well.
it looks like they're all on the champions are going to play now. So we'll go ahead and wish good luck to the players. We're going to exit this stream, and now we're actually going to play the video from Riot that explains the kind of most basic concepts of the game so that we can all be on the same page when the game starts. So I will...
Well, Joseph's switching this over. Oh, he's got it already. The stream that we're going to watch for the main content has both teams visible. Here, we should probably just hop into this.
I can pause it. Go ahead.
Has both teams visible, so there's a potential for cheating if we were able to stream like live. So what they do is they delay the stream by about 3 minutes, I think, so we can see both teams, but as well not have a potential for cheating.
Yep, that's right. So that's why there's the delay between the draft phase and the game right here. And I will go ahead and run this video so we can all learn a little bit more about League of Legends.
League of Legends is a
I'm gonna go to the bathroom,
team-oriented
Justin.
strategy game. The goal
Sounds
is
good.
to work together with your teammates to bring down the enemy nexus, located in the middle of their base before your opponents take down yours. That sounds straightforward, but how you get there isn't, so let's walk you through the basics. You'll start by choosing one champion from a list of many, all of whom have their own unique strengths and personalities. Some are ranged marksmen, pelting their opponents from a safe distance, or burly fighters who like to get up in their opponents' faces. Others are arcane mages, casting powerful spells to trap and damage their enemies. However you like to get things done, there's a champion out there to match your style. During the game, champions get stronger in two ways, the first of which is leveling up. You gain experience by being in the area when enemies die, and each level of experience gives you an ability point. Assign these points as you level up to unlock all of your abilities and make them stronger. At level 6, you can unlock your ultimate ability, which can change the tide of the game. The second way to get stronger is buying items. Items are bought at the shop in your base using gold earned from killing enemies during a match. Once you've bought an item, it goes straight into your inventory and you immediately gain its benefits and power up. If you don't know which items to buy, you can check the recommended tab in the store for some pretty good stuff for your champion. Once you know your way around the shop, feel free to experiment with different item combos as you develop your own style. But if you ever get lost, the recommended tab has your back. When you start the game, you and your team will appear in the fountain.
I'm back.
This is also where you'll respawn if your champion dies. This is a pretty safe place that restores your health and mana and provides access to the shop we just talked about. You start off the game with some gold, so grab some items right away and return to the shop when you've earned enough to buy more or to upgrade items you already own. Once you've got your starting items, you'll head to one of the three lanes, commonly called bot for bottom, mid for middle, and top for top. Between the lanes is the jungle, a shadowy area filled with powerful monsters that can beat the heck out of an unprepared champion. Slaying these creatures will give you gold, experience, and some pretty sweet buffs. But they do fight back, so stay in the lanes until you feel strong enough to take them on. Each lane is a path between the two bases, guarded by a set of powerful turrets. You'll need to destroy your enemy's turrets to get into their base and take down their nexus. That's easier said than done though. Those turrets are perilous, and even the most powerful champion will melt if targeted by one. To safely take them down, you need to stay behind your minions. Minions are computer-controlled units that march relentlessly down all lanes, engaging any enemies in their path. Your opponents have minions too, and you're gonna want to stomp them. You'll get experience when they die, but only the killing blow, commonly called the last hit, will earn you gold, so time your attacks carefully. Once you and your minions push up to an enemy turret, you'll have a few moments to damage it while it attacks your minions. If you're in range of the turret without any minions around, it will attack you, so be aware of your position. Also, if you attack an enemy champion while in range of the turret, it will change its focus to attack you, even if your minions are around. Working with your minions to siege enemy turrets is your main objective if you're looking to crack their base. But watch out for enemy champions. Like you, they have items and abilities and feelings to help them stop your advance and make their way to your nexus. If you manage to take an enemy champion down, however, they are worth a nice chunk of gold. Sometimes things don't go as planned. Maybe an enemy champion gets the drop on you, or maybe you take one too many turret shots. Whatever the case may be, if your champion dies, you'll have to wait for your death timer to expire before respawning back in your base's fountain. This timer increases as the game goes on. Dying early in a match only requires a few seconds of timeout, while a death later on could result in a 30-second penalty or even longer. Don't worry though, you don't lose any items, gold, or experience on death, and you can even buy items while waiting to respawn. Of course, killing your enemies also takes them off the map for a brief period, giving you the perfect opportunity to advance and demolish their turrets. That's the basics of League of Legends. Get money, buy stuff, and wreck their base, all while battling against a team of opponents trying to do the exact same things to you. A combination of skill, speed, and intelligence will lead you to the opponent's nexus and to victory. Then, you can start a new game and do it all over again. There's a lot more to the world of League of Legends though. A diverse community full of all kinds of people. A competitive rank system to test your skills, either solo or with a team of friends, an ever-expanding roster of champions to explore and master, and even a professional esports scene where the best players in the world gather to play on a massive stage in front of thousands of fans. It all starts with your first game. So hit that.
All right. That was a nice introduction to League, and now we'll jump into spectating. There will be a little bit of a jarring moment because the game has already started, and we're going to jump in maybe at like 2 minutes in or something like that after the delay, and we're going to rewind back to the beginning so we can kind of see the action from the beginning. Are you out there, Justin?
Yep, sorry. Just
It's okay.
taking the advice that if you don't have anything interesting to say, don't say it. Just looking through the notes that we have. So this screen here just kind of gives an overview of this is what the players will see when they go into the game first. All right.
Oh, we actually jumped in at a pretty good moment, so I think I actually won't rewind here. They're only a minute into the game. Not much has happened. So here are our friends. Oh, no, sorry. This is actually these are not our friends. Here are our friends right here. They're the red team. So here's Julia with Nami. Very adorable costume she's wearing. One way of customizing your appearance in League is you can get different costumes for your champions. That's one way. Cole is wearing a pizza delivery costume for Sivir. So this is Cole right here. Over here we have Nate in the mid lane. We've got Joe walking to lane over here on Aatrox. And then Jamie in the jungle.
So one thing that Joseph mentioned a few times was laning and lanes. The map is kind of a fork, a three-pronged fork, where the top prong is the top lane, the middle prong is the mid lane, and the bottom prong is the bottom lane.
One way to kind of orient yourself is if you see this kind of rocky wall that leads off into nothingness over here, you can tell this is the bottom of the map because, you know, here's the wall and then we're kind of at the bottom of it. And then similarly at the top of the map, you can see the wall over here that leads off into kind of nothingness over there, whereas the mid lane is right in the middle of the map. So it can be a little hard to orient yourself when you're first watching League of Legends. One trick you can use is if you see the mini-map in the lower right-hand corner over here, there's a little white box that shows you which part of the map we're currently looking at, and then it shows you the overall map as well.
All right, and so the beginning here is called the laning phase. The game is kind of broken up into light phases, and this is the early game.
That's right. It looks like the enemy jungler is coming in on Nate here. He's going to flash away, dashing out. Yasuo has a lot of cool moves. He gets ignited. He ignites the enemy Ahri, but unfortunately he dies. So nice move by their jungler. That was a good play. I'm sure Nate can come back from that. He's a very experienced player.
You'll see that often where the jungler will kind of sneak in and help out a lane to add an extra player to get kind of an advantage.
Yeah, that's one of the most common roles of the jungler is to sneak up on champions that way. Now we can see everything, but our friends can actually only see certain things. So you can see that the over here is shrouded in what they call the fog of war. So you can only see things that your allies can see, which includes your minions. And then also where you place wards, like this ward-like thing right there. So not everyone can see everything, and so that's how you get stuck up on by the enemy jungler.
And that means that it's really important to make sure that you do manage the things that you can and cannot see.
All right, oh, it looks like Cole was able to use an ability to go back to base, but it looks like Julia was interrupted. Luckily, she flashes away. Flash is an ability that lets you teleport a short distance to dodge away from the enemy, but it has a 5-minute cooldown.
And one thing you'll notice is they were trying to hide in a bush to escape. The enemies cannot see you when you're hidden in a bush unless they kind of walk up right next to you or hit you with an ability.
That's right. So Julia goes home now, and she visits this shop run by this angry-looking, monocle-wearing walrus person in order to buy some more items. We're not going to talk too much about items this game because there's a lot of depth there, but when you go back to base, you're able to buy new items and also restore your health and mana. Health is the red bar above the champion's head. So here you can see Joe's health and Darius's health, the enemy Darius. So it looks like they've been trading into each other pretty well. They both have lost some health. Neither one at a huge health deficit there.
Although here in mid lane, it looks like Nate's health is kind of low. He needs to be a little bit careful.
It seems
that could be taken advantage of.
That's right. It seems like this Ahri is really good trading on to Nate because Nate understands this matchup, but there's so much skill expression in League of Legends that just because both players know each other's abilities, sometimes you still get got by them, and sometimes they still win trades and get more damage onto you. So it looks like this Ahri player is really good because Nate is an extremely competent mid laner. So it looks like he's in a tough matchup, but we'll see how that plays out over the course of the game.
Yeah, whenever I've played against Nate as Yasuo, I've always been very frustrated.
He's a really excellent Yasuo player, much better than me. He really knows a lot of the ins and outs and the tricks, so I really have confidence in him, even though he's off to.
One thing that you notice these two mid laners are doing is they're kind of trading off between attacking minions to or killing minions to get gold, but also trying to kind of lay down damage on their champions.
That's right. It looks like Nate takes another close fight there and puts her down to half health, and Yasuo has enough damage. Don't make the mistake of thinking that it wasn't close just because she has half. Yasuo can do a lot of damage quickly, so he wasn't wrong to fight there, and he also saw the enemy jungler coming in, so he kind of had to make something happen. So yeah, he was put in a tough spot there and made the best of it.
And it looked like Jamie, the jungler, was coming to help, but just didn't quite arrive in time.
Yeah, that's right. Those timing things can be so tricky. It was just not quite in time, but hopefully next time it'll shake out for our friends. A little bit of fighting in the bot lane. Looks like Cole's going to get away. Julia's going to land a bubble, which knocks up the enemy Braum. Braum wearing a very silly costume here, kind of like a candy-themed costume. So this player having some fun with it, which is always good to see.
I find that the bottom lane, there tends to be a little bit more conflict because there's two people, and you can kind of get away with a little bit more just kind of, ongoing conflict. Oh,
here comes Nate. That's right. Yeah, looking to make something happen here. He throws out a big shield. It's a 3v2 here. Okay, the enemy Jhin flashes away, uses that short teleport. Nate's able to get a knock-up onto the Braum. Nate's taking a lot of damage. Oh, the enemy top laner was teleported, but here comes Joe also with his teleport, looking to turn things around. Here comes the enemy jungler. Unfortunately, Jamie is not in the neighborhood. Yeah, our friend's taking a lot of damage there. Joe also goes down. That was a really well-executed play by the enemy team. Jamie coming in to help kill the enemy or help kill the minions, but unfortunately the Ahri comes from behind and also takes out Cole, it looks like. So just a really well executed series of plays by the enemy team.
Blue team did a very good job of all kind of coming together at once.
That's
and now,
right.
After that victory that they've sort of had, they're transitioning right away into one of the map objectives.
That's right. By killing this dragon, they're going to get a team-wide advantage, and for this particular dragon, that means that they deal a little bit more damage to structures for the whole game. So a little bit of a long-term advantage for them there. Certainly something that can be come back from, but that is one of the long-term advantages that exists in League of Legends. I'm going to really quickly reorder people's portraits because they're out of the order that I would expect them to be in.
And so the reason that you would want to have damage to structure advantage is the eventual goal is to get all of your army from, say, the red side of the map to the blue side of the map, and we have these towers here standing in the way. So eventually you have to knock down the towers, and so being able to do more damage to them gives you a long-term advantage.
Yeah, that's right. They're going to be able to deal a little bit more damage to our friends' towers, but our friends getting some good damage right here onto the blue towers. You can see the tower's health going down above it. So still very much in this. The early game can matter a lot, but really what it does is it sets the stage for the later part of the game in terms of who's ahead and behind and how you have to play. But mistakes can be made that can really turn this game around in the late game. Each game is about, I'd say, 25 to 35 minutes long, and we're just barely closing in on 10 minutes here.
And you'll kind of be able to tell when we transition from the mid-game, or from the early game to the mid-game, when I would say laners start drifting away from their lanes a little bit more and kind of going to help each other out a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of, for me, when it signals the mid-game starts.
For sure, and a big part of that is when the towers die. You can see when the towers die. Oh, looks like Nate is getting some damage in the mid lane here. Oh, not quite. Looks like maybe Ahri was able to heal up. Yeah, when the towers go down, that's when people can start moving around because they don't have to stand there and defend that first tower anymore. And the minions have to come a longer way to reach to the next tower, so they have more opportunity to go other places on the map. Looks like maybe there's some fighting in the jungle here. The enemy bug character, Kha'Zix, is kind of trying to fight with Jamie. It looks like they land an ability on him that makes him walk towards Ahri. It's called a charm. Luckily, Zac has an ability where if these blobs are able to come back to life, yes, Jamie is able to escape. Oh, and then Nate lands a shutdown on the enemy bug, Kha'Zix. Because Kha'Zix got a lot of kills, there's actually more gold in it for Nate for taking him down. So that's exactly the kind of play I was talking about that Nate used to get back in this game. That was really excellent.
And so with the towers, in the early game, towers have things called plates on them, which just means kind of more HP.
Looks like there's something happening here real quick. Jamie is ignited, and Ahri is able to kill him with the ignite. Ignite is another spell, kind of like Flash, that has a very long cooldown, so that was an important cooldown that she used to get him. The plates, keep going with the plates, Justin. I'll navigate over to a tower so we can kind of navigate
so
over
in the beginning, the plates kind of help keep these towers protected a little bit in the beginning of the game. And if you can still do damage and knock down towers, but it just takes a lot more effort. Each plate you kill gives you 160 gold, though, so it's worth it. Eventually, I'm not sure what time, but the plates will fall and the towers will become more vulnerable.
It's at 14 minutes.
So come up here and do it.
You can kind of see these big shields on the tower here that indicate that. Also, Twitch chat, feel free to ask questions if you feel like we go over something too quickly, or you just want a refresher, or you want to ask a question about anything. Feel free to type in Twitch chat and ask a question. We'd love to know what you want to hear more about, or what maybe still is an open question for you. Looks like there's some fighting here in the bot lane. Julia's taking a lot of damage. Julia's able to flash away. The enemy AD carry opens with a big ult. Here comes the enemy bug. He's invisible. He jumps on top of Julia, but he's taking some tower damage. She's able to hit him with a bubble. Very nice, Julia. Even as he kills her, Julia is able to hit him with a bubble that traps him under the tower while he's taking damage. Now they're coming in for Cole.
So that move there that they just did was called a tower dive, where even though they were going to take a whole bunch of extra damage, it was worth it to dive under the tower and get the hero or the champion kill.
Yeah, blue team executing really well. Props to them. It's very easy for that to go wrong, as you saw with the Kha'Zix play. the bug that jumped under the tower here against Julia, because she was able to crowd control him under the tower, he died, so it's easy for that to go wrong. But the blue team players are executing quite well, so very worthy opponents for our friends here. Crowd control, in case you're unfamiliar with the term, is an ability that stops you from doing something. Most often it holds you in place and doesn't allow you to move, but it can also stop you from using your abilities or something else. So like the crowd control that Ahri just used there on Cole that is the charm that makes him walk towards her. Luckily, Cole is able to get away, and then Jamie's able to dodge the charm right there against Ahri, so nice awareness of that ability. Looks like the top lane is going pretty well. Tower still has a lot of health. This character that the enemy team is playing on the blue team, Darius, he's really hard to fight in the early part of the game, but if you can stop him from getting too far ahead, he doesn't offer as much in the team fights that we'll see later. Oh, looks like we're collapsing on the Ahri in the mid lane, but the Kha'Zix bug character is there to help out too. But here comes in Jamie and the Nami ult, the big wave. Jamie gets hit by the charm, but Jamie's pretty tanky, so not really the target Ahri wants to hit there.
Yeah, and tank means what you think it means. It means that he's hard to kill. A lot of HP and armor.
That's right. So those important abilities. Oh, but if they are able to catch him here on low health, they might still be able to get him. Looks like Jamie might be able to get away. Yet the Kha'Zix is able to kill him. The Kha'Zix does so much early damage.
You'll notice that the plates have fallen in the past 14 minutes, so these towers are now very vulnerable, and this one is about to be killed or knocked down.
That's right. They come as 4 to the tower here to knock it down, and I'm guessing now they're going to transition on to Dragon because the next Dragon is up. This is the Infernal Drake. And the Infernal Drake, the team-wide bonus it gives you for killing it is that you deal more damage to enemy champions, so very powerful in team fights.
How often do the dragons reappear after you kill them?
The first dragon comes at 5 minutes, and the next dragon is I think it's 5 minutes after that, but I'm actually not totally
Sorry,
sure.
I
should know that timing. Yeah, no.
I didn't know.
Let's look at the objective timer really quick. Next dragon, yeah, it's 5 minutes. So the first one comes at 5 minutes into the game, and the next one, each subsequent one, is 5 minutes after you slay the previous dragon.
Makes sense.
So yeah, they have lost that mid tower there, but the blue team tower very low. This red team tower for our friends also very low. Looks like they're trying to come in and destroy it. Here comes Jamie with the big bounce from Zac. He's gonna land. Looks like the enemy team is able to run away from them though we'll see. Julia's ultimate ability is almost up. Looks like they dodged the bubble. Here comes the teleport in from the blue side top laner, and then the corresponding teleport from Joe. Yeah, looks like this play did not quite work out. Joe absolutely with the right idea here to come in and help the team, but the Darius is a little bit quicker. But Joe definitely doing what he should, try to help in the team fight. Unfortunately, his allies is dying a little bit too quickly, but yeah, he definitely had the right idea. And
it just highlights how critical the timing is. Like if you're all arrive at the same time, you can get down one champion and then move on to the next really fast. But if you're just a little bit late, you're kind of the first people to arrive are vulnerable.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the blue team also for dodging Julia's bubble ability. She's so good at aiming that that I feel like she does not miss those often. Oh, looks like Jamie gets into the charm here, but luckily his blob ability is back up. So Cole and Julia are able to defend it so that Jamie is able to resurrect and come back. He's got to be careful of this Kha'Zix here, though. Looks like the bug is hunting for him. He knows that Jamie's more vulnerable now that ability is down. Jamie can only come back from blob form once every 5 minutes, so important ability.
I don't think the red team can see the blue team kind of running around like that. I don't think they have vision necessarily, so they're not super aware of this happening.
That's right. So this is the red team's vision right now. So you can see that a lot of the enemy team is not in vision, but looks like they might be able to find this Kha'Zix there. Got a lot of damage on him. He uses the flash away. They do force the flash out, but now they're kind of pincered here with Braum and Ahri around them, and Darius coming down the river. We'll see what's going to happen. But here comes Nate. Let's see if they can put this round on them. Jamie goes in, dealing a lot of damage. Jamie flashes out of the Darius damage. Looks like they're able to disengage without dying, which sometimes when you're a little bit behind, just being able to deal that damage and then walk away is what you need to do in order to get them low enough that you can make a play on them later or force them back so you can take an objective or just a little breathing room.
One thing I've noticed is the blue team seems to be very disciplined with their positioning. So the red team hasn't been able to kind of find someone out of position and pick them off. They've just been really kind of hard to get.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that the blue team is doing a really excellent job of that, and to their credit, our friends also respecting that, and in that fight realizing that they did not have the positioning they needed and disengaging. It's easy for teams to be in that situation and just decide, well, we're already here, so we might as well fight. But probably good on them to get out of there. Joe with a nice fancy feat to dodge the Jhin ability that might have proved fatal if it would have locked him in place. But looks like there might be some action up here. Joe's able to get some damage onto the enemy bot laner. This Jhin right here deals a lot of damage, the enemy Jhin, but doesn't have a lot of HP, so he can be vulnerable.
With all of these team fights happening, I feel like we're heading into what might be considered the late game, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, a lot of towers are going down. Definitely in the part of the game where we're grouping up. We're not just in our lane assignment anymore. You can see their whole team's grouping together very effectively. But as they're completing this push right here with the help of this Rift Herald monster, we've got Cole and Julia in the bot lane, almost keeping pace with it and dealing a lot of damage to their towers as well. So we'll see what happens here. Unfortunately, this Rift monster, going to get a charge on that tower and destroy it. And there's going to be a fight here, 4v2. Unfortunately, Joe and Jamie probably cannot fight them. They're probably counting on that tower to last just a little bit longer. Unfortunately, the Rift monster destroyed it. So, yeah, this blue team just doing a lot of work here.
One thing that we missed while other action was happening is the blue team must have killed the Rift Herald up kind of mirror side of where the dragon lives. And that is how they were able to summon that Rift monster.
Yeah, the big shell monster, it lives in a pit kind of like the dragon, and unlike the dragon, rather than just giving you kind of a static advantage, it allows you to summon it and destroy towers. So exactly, that's how the blue team was able to do that. So looks like they're probably rotating onto the dragon here. We're kind of in the middle of the map now. You can see in the lower right-hand corner to kind of get your bearings. This is where the dragon pit is. It's kind of in the middle of the jungle. The dragon is up. This is the ocean dragon, and I think the blue team could be looking at this next.
Yes, so right now we're just looking at the dragon here. I imagine they're going to go, but maybe they're being more conservative.
Yeah, we'll see.
There they are. It looks like they're converging on the dragon now.
And red team, our friends, are having to push back super minions, which you can see right here, this blue giant minion right here. When the enemy team destroys an inhibitor like this, the enemy team gets super minions, which push into the base and are very powerful and hard to kill. So that's an advantage for killing that particular kind of building, and that gets them ever closer to destroying the red nexus. So we'll have to see how our friends respond to that.
Yeah, eventually the minion pressure can become so great that the minions end up just destroying the nexus without the champions there sometimes. Oh no, I noticed that Yasuo just reconnected.
Yeah, it looks like Nate was maybe some connectivity issues, which might explain why the laning phase was so hard for him if he was having ping issues or wasn't able to connect. So, yeah, hopefully that will not be an issue in future games.
Not an aspect of the game that you like to see. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, but unfortunately, yeah, part of the reality that we're in now, especially the current era. Oh, here comes Ahri out of the bush. Our friends couldn't see her because she was hiding in there. Luckily, they're able to save Julia. Julia flashes away. I don't think the Ignite is going to kill her. It looked like she's getting away. Nate is able to get away. Oh, here come the big shots, but our friends are able to tank for each other, which means they can absorb the damage. And yes, Cole valiantly puts his body on the line and saves Nate from almost certainly being killed by that ultimate ability from the other team. Yeah, great teamwork there.
You can see now, though, they are heading back to the base because they lost so much health. So that will give the blue team kind of free roam of the map for a moment here.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually on the Baron now. This is called Baron Nashor. It's kind of like a dragon, but if they kill it, they get an ability that when they're nearby their minions become even stronger and harder to kill. So if they're able to take this objective, it will really put the red team, our friends, in a tough spot.
It's known as Baron buff.
That's right. It looks like they are able to take that. Ideally, you can contest that when they do it, but the team is so far ahead that it's hard to fight them. They've gotten a lot of items and a lot of gold. They're very strong. So I think a call was made to concede that objective and just try to defend the base. But it'll be tough to see what the plan is. Really unfortunate that Nate was having connectivity issues. I mean, I think that's like a huge problem for them. Every second to this game counts, and so being disconnected for a while just really, unfortunately, it's a big problem for them.
Yeah, they can even just be distracting. Like, Nate, are you there? Oh no, where's Nate? Etc. And just kind of having that in the back of your mind just is unfortunate.
That's right. You can see how the purple aura on this minion, that is the Baron buff, they're finally able to kill it, but you can see that it also lets the minions fire from farther away. You can see this Baron buff minion wave crashing in on this red tower and taking its health away so quickly.
I don't think I've ever noticed that detail.
They do a lot in this game to try to add visual indicators for what's going on, which also means that there's so much going on with so many visual indicators that sometimes it's hard to catch them all. Yeah, the blue team just crashing in here with the Baron buff. Our friends doing their best to try to de-push those minions, but it's so hard, and the blue team is executed so well. Looks we have two separate fights right now. Red team fighting down here. They're able to land a kill on this Darius. Joe is going in. Joe gets the shutdown gold, but looks like they're actually being attacked from the back by the enemy bot laner Jhin. But Cole's going in, was able to shut down the Ahri. Really nice work by our friends here to get some shutdowns. Oh, it looks like Cole has been cleaned up by the Kazakhs. Unfortunately, he goes down. Here goes Jhin going into blob form. I don't think they're going to be able to protect him. Joe is trying to use his abilities to fight them, but unfortunately, the blue team is able to finish them off. So that was kind of the valiant last stand for our friends, and blue team almost is going to this game up now. But friends really tried their best, but it looks like they just got matched up with a really good team in this first round. So we're going to say good luck to them in the next round. There's 2 more games left, so stick with us. We're going to get back on the draft screen for the next game.
Credit to the blue team for amazing communication and timing, and they had a really well put together effort.
Yeah, that's right. The amount of skill in this game is incredible, and the differentiation of skill. Like they said in the intro video, there are people who are professionals at this game, and so sometimes you just get one of those tough matchups where they're really good. So they're currently waiting for their next potential opponents to be done with their match, and certainly talking about what happened in that game, what they might want to try to do differently in order to win the next one. So
I'm actually surprised to see Nate streaming still. I figured he would be conservative and turn off the stream just in case it would help his connection problems. There's also a chance that his connection problems didn't have anything to do with the internet, and it was something completely unrelated to that too.
Yeah, it could have been a riot with Riot servers. With everything that's happening in the world right now, they've been having a lot of issues with their servers and the server quality. So yeah, it could have been completely a Riot issue. So yeah, there's looking at the bracket right now, seeing which teams they might play. Luckily, that's available for viewing, so have a nice feature.
This is a cool screen that I've never seen before.
Yeah, it's only for Clash. So, yep.
Oh, you can see that the game that's going on right now is at its 31st minute, so they're likely wrapping up soon, I would imagine.
You hope so. Games can very rarely go up to 50 minutes even, but it's very uncommon. There's not a time limit on the game. The game goes as long as it takes to destroy the enemy nexus, no matter what. So theoretically, a game could go for quite a long time, but it's really difficult for it to go beyond 45 minutes usually. But yeah, this is definitely a time where if you're watching, not much action right now, grab a snack, go to the bathroom. I'm gonna go to the bathroom myself again.
Am I allowed to do that?
Yes, we can both be off stream for a second. So yeah, grab some snacks, and we're gonna get ready for game 2, which I think is gonna be really exciting to see what happens next.
Yeah, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feel free to chat about it in the comments, and we're definitely following along. So
yeah, definitely let us know.
Be right back, though.
And I'm back. Are you back, Justin? I think Justin is not back yet. Looks like they're still waiting for their opponent. Very long game there from their team. 35 minutes. Should be closing up pretty soon. Wish you could spectate that other game so you kind of know what phase they're in, but fortunately that feature is not available.
Well, while you're waiting, you might as well check out the loot that you got.
That's right.
What is he up to? Checking out his skins.
Funny aside, talking so much reminds me of being in debate in high school and how I would go into debate rounds and talk for like 45 minutes essentially, and then go and chat with my friends. And the whole time I was drinking like Coca-Cola and like really sugary drinks, and never once hurt my voice or felt like anything like that. Just after like one game of talking through this, I'm already like chugging water in order to make sure that like I can already like feel it. So just like yet another way, like getting a little bit older affects your body.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hang in there. You're getting old. It'll be okay. I am drinking sugary drinks and water, and it's working out great.
And you're doing a mix. Yeah, maybe your vocal cords are just naturally stronger than mine.
I don't know. I just chugged a Monster though, so I'm feeling great.
We have a great question from Tichia011. Tiana, thanks for watching. Tiana says, do our friends keep the same champions or pick a new set for each game? And they pick a new set for each game, but they will often continue, if they're made available, they'll often continue to pick champions that they are the most comfortable on. So, for instance, Nate was on Yasuo, the swordsman, that last game. And if given the opportunity to play Yasuo again, I would not be surprised if he did it. And similarly, Jamie was on Zac, the big blue goopy guy. And I know that's Jamie's favorite champion. Also is a really good combo with Yasuo. So if Jamie has an opportunity to play Zac, I'm almost certain that he will. So yeah, it's an interesting dance because they have to consider what's been banned, what their own comfortability on the champion is, and then also how each champion fits into the overall team composition. So great question, Tiana.
Yeah, most likely they all will stay the same except for Cole if given the option, I think.
In Clash, I believe that Joe prefers to play Garen. That's actually his top choice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Even though Aatrox is one of the champions, I think he's the most fun to play. I think that Garen, he thinks in a really in the most competitive environment we play in, which is still not that competitive. I think he feels like Garen gives him a little bit more kind of options and flexibility and safety if he happens to be matched against someone who's really challenging.
Okay, makes sense. I think Aatrox looks way scarier, so I'd much rather be Aatrox than Garen, but...
Yeah, Aatrox is definitely very intimidating. He turns into a big demon with an even bigger sword and really big wings, and he gains a speed bonus so he can run at you really fast. Really, really fast. So they're in the scouting phase now, it looks like, potentially.
I don't know. It still says waiting for opponent in the schedule, so I think they're just still looking at the potential opponent.
Okay, yeah. I thought I saw the match with someone at the bottom of the screen on the previous page, but maybe that is not the case. And our friends have already raised, they already, even though they didn't win the last game, they still scored some points. They got some kills, they got some towers. So they've already, raised points for Mass for Charity. So they're doing the good work playing Clash.
Great call out. Great call out. That game, there we go. Now they know their opponents. Looks like it's going to be Pog, I think.
That's what it looks like, yeah, because it seems like it's already matched up. But then, for some reason, they haven't been moved on to the scouting phase yet. You know, when I played Clash a while ago, I feel like I remember this happening, and I think that sometimes there's like a technical issue on the Riot side that causes a delay. Um, so maybe that's the problem is that Riot, the even though the other team is ready, that there's some kind of other delay in the schedule that is stopping them from going on to the scouting phase. But we should be in it pretty soon here.
Yeah, it says City Mouse 4 scouting, Dandelion scouting. So yeah,
Oh, so
I'm not sure if it's a
oh
Nate thing or
yeah, you know, some people did have different experiences in their client. So maybe they are in the scouting phase, but Nate's just isn't displaying properly in the class schedule. So yeah, it looks like they are already, you know, they're looking at the enemy team, trying to figure out which champions they might want to play, um, and then how they will want to respond to that. So it looks like they actually are in the scouting phase. That's my guess.
and the scouting phase is 5 minutes, right? Did you have something to show in this off period, or do I remember incorrectly?
Yeah, we could show a video right now if you want to keep your eyes on the stream for when they get into the draft. And then,
Nate's stream. I can do that.
yeah, and then
Oh, I have to
we,
leave. I can do that. I can do that. I
yeah,
got it.
and then we can show a quick little video. So that way, if they go to the draft screen, we can start talking about it, and we'll just pause that video. But here's a quick little informational video about a technique in League that is very fundamental that we're all still practicing, but it's kind of a good explanation, and then we can kind of look for it in the game as well.
Roxon, a Diamond mid 80 carry player for 3 seasons, and welcome to Leaguecraft 101. This is a series that will teach you how to become a Diamond player. If you're willing to be teachable, be hungry to improve, and practice, this series can get you there.
So there are different, I'll pause it right there. There are different tiers of ranks in League of Legends when you play the ranked mode. And so you can climb up the rank by winning a lot, or go down if you lose. And so the different tiers are iron, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, master, grandmaster, challenger, I believe. So this series, when we said this can get you to platinum, what it means is, it can get you up to a very high ranking within the League of Legends ranked ladder. And the tiers are not divided evenly. There's not an equal number of people in Challenger as there are in Iron. And so I think like 50% of the player base is Iron, Silver, Bronze, or Gold. And then the number of people in Platinum, Diamond, Master, Grandmaster, Challenger are like steadily decreasing, with Challenger being, I think, maybe the top percent or even less than 1% of players.
So this episode is about the holy grail of
They are in
League,
the scouting phase.
what I call the trading
4.5
stance.
minutes remaining.
Okay.
The trading stance is a technique that does 3 things for you. It wins you trades.
Trades here in this video, meaning they're talking about trading damage. So the objective here is to deal more damage to the opponent than they deal to you. That's what they're talking about. And then when they say skill shot, a skill shot is an ability that you have to aim, as opposed to one where you can just click on the enemy champion. There's different kinds of abilities. And lastly, on the screen, we're talking about CS. That's an older term from back when this genre was first created. It stands for creep score, and this means how many enemy minions you've killed or how many jungle monsters you've killed.
It gives you high skill shot accuracy, and it generates CS leads. Against the majority of players, it can also give you kills quite easily. Now, all of these payoffs combined can create crippling lane advantages that easily snowball into wins when executed correctly. So I guess you're all waiting for the big reveal. What is the trading stance? So I'll explain it in 5 words. Stand on your dying minion. It really is that simple. Given its simplicity, it's pretty surprising that I've only ever seen people executing the trading stance well in Diamond Plus. And I should note that executing the trading stance correctly is extremely difficult, especially if both players are competent users of the technique. However, this only generally happens at mid-Diamond Plus. So while the trading stance is definitely a powerful weapon, Used at the wrong times, it can result in taking excessive minion damage, getting baited into jungle ganks, losing too much CS, or just simply dying because their trade is more powerful than yours. So if you've made it to the dying minion in time, before it dies, you have two choices. You can either use the trading stance to trade, or zone. In general, if you have high kill potential, or the enemy laner doesn't have many potions, you want to use the trading stance to trade and whittle them down by timing your approach with the minion dying, and this is very important. This can then set you up for a minion crash dive later, or a flash combo to finish them off. On the other hand, if you don't have a lot of kill potential, and your trades are pretty weak, for example, let's say you're playing Twisted Fate, you would rather zone with the trading stance rather than trade. In this situation, I can just let the cards cycle and wait for a minion to die while zoning the Swain off it, because of the threat that I might pick gold card. Now, once the minion dies, I can actually just select blue card and get my mana back without having to actually waste mana in picking gold card. Using this kind of technique, I can build a CS lead without having to even attack the enemy at all. Now finally, after you've actually executed your trade, you should immediately retreat so that your opponent can't retaliate on you and you reduce the amount of minion damage that you take. So now I'll show you some examples of using the trading stance in mid lane in a range versus range matchup. Since I'm in a high kill potential lane in Viktor vs LeBlanc, I would rather trade than zone. To do this, I'm timing my approaches with the minion dying and then immediately retreating. In this case, the trading stance also lets me land my Death Ray skill shot because I know exactly where the LeBlanc is going to be standing when she's last hitting a minion. So watch very carefully in the following clips how I time my approaches with the minion's health going down so that I get a trade-off instead of just zoning her off the minion. You can see by repetitively using the trading stance, I already have Flash Ignite combo kill pressure as early as level 3. And this is a Diamond LeBlanc, so she'll be very wary of such a combo, and instead of greedily going for CS, she'll take a 10 to 20 CS deficit instead of dying. But against a gold opponent who's greedy for minions, I could potentially kill them at level 3 or level 4, and then kill them again at level 6, and then just snowball the lane out of control. Now the trading stance works similarly, but with less frequency in the melee vs range matchup. This is because you're susceptible to enemy auto attack harass, and you're probably going to be at a health disadvantage for the majority of the early laning phase. So, the trading stance in a melee vs range matchup is merely just a matter of standing on the dying minion and using your reach ability. Now,
they're in the draft.
All right, we'll pause that video right there. They're using a lot of technical terminology in that video. I didn't want to pause to explain all of it, but if hopefully some of it made sense to you, and if you have specific questions, feel free to ask them. But it's kind of a very basic introduction, or not very basic, but a very fundamental introduction to something that's very important in League, even though it's very hard to get right, and something that we're all still practicing, even though we're aware of it.
You'll notice that Cole or Dandelion has his marker on a Mumu again. Not sure why they do that, but it's something I've seen them do frequently.
Yeah, they're trying to kind of bamboozle the enemy team because the enemy team can temporarily see what champion you're indicating right before you switch to whatever you're actually picking. So they're trying to kind of trick them into thinking that maybe they will actually play a Mumu. So it looks like the Zac ban comes out against Jamie. So we're not going to be seeing the big blue goopy guy again, unfortunately. He's going to be playing another jungler. And then there's a Senna ban against Julia. Looks like our friends have decided to ban Pyke, Vayne, and Master Yi so far. Here comes the Lux ban, which is mostly against Nate. Nate's an excellent Lux player, so I do not blame them for wanting to ban that.
I heard him in his stream hoping to play a Comfort Lux pick, but he was prepping to have that banned, so I think he's ready to handle that.
Yeah, looks like...
I was going to say the same thing you. I think Nami was locked in for the support for Julia.
Looks like the enemy team is taking Brand, who's a fire mage who can deal a lot of damage, especially in an area. So very scary.
Not familiar with this cat goggle guy. Looks like it's not going to be the pick anyway.
Yeah, it looks like the enemy team is also bringing in Galio, who also has a really great team fight ability where he can leap into the sky and then crash down on his allies, giving them a shield and then knocking up and crowd controlling enemies. So between Brand and Galio, they're already drafting a pretty strong team fight composition. Looks like our friends have taken Nami and Garen for Joe in the top lane. Joe able to play the Garen this time, which I know he prefers in this situation. So
the ban phase comes after the first 3 picks, right?
That's right. The last pick they lock in here is the Fiddlesticks, who's a scary scarecrow who leaves clones of himself hiding in bushes to scare you. Really tricky champion.
He has some abilities that scare you away, which makes you run away and unable to react.
That's right, kind of the opposite of the charm ability that Ari had that makes you kind of mindlessly walk towards her. The Fiddlestick's fear crowd control ability makes you walk away from him. Strangely, it makes you walk away kind of slowly, which doesn't totally make sense. A little bit of a flavor fail on Riot's part there, but that is how the ability works.
I suppose if you're terrified, you think you'd be running out away as fast as you can.
Yeah, you think you'd be moving at your maximum speed, but looks like they banned the Yasuo away from Nate, so we're not going to be seeing the swordsman this game. And they also banned Cho'Gath. Not sure exactly who that's aimed at. Nate does play Cho'Gath mid sometimes. So really trying to pinch Nate's pool here, but honestly, Nate can play so many champions well that I'm not sure this will pay off for them.
Oh yeah, I think those are his 3 best. If I'm making that up, I know that he said hopefully I'll get a safe pick of Lux. If not, maybe Cho'Gath. So we'll have to. I have no idea who he's going to pick.
Mm-hmm. He might actually play the Heimerdinger, the goggle kind of cat guy you were talking about earlier, who's can be pretty safe and hold in lane pretty well. Let's see who their next pick is here on the enemy team. They still need to pick an AD carry, a bot laner, who's typically a ranged character that deals a lot of damage. Looks like they're going to be locking in the Aphelios, who's very popular in pro play. Very hard to play well, so we'll see how good this Aphelios is.
And our Jhin was picked, which is going to be Cole's first choice in the bottom lane.
That's right. Yeah, it looks like the Heimerdinger does come through for Nate. He's really good on that champion, holds lane really well. Hopefully he'll be pretty safe whoever the enemy mid laner is, which may be the Galio, but we're not sure yet. And looks like, Jamie's going to be on Dr. Mundo, another big tanky fellow for Jamie, who scales really well in the late game.
The best part about Dr. Mundo is that he throws ukuleles, I think, or some sort of little banjo things.
Yeah, that's right. He throws ukuleles because Jamie likes the beach party skin costume. So yeah, the ukuleles will be flying all over the place.
What does Dr. Mundo normally throw?
Hatchets or like little axes, or butcher's cleavers.
I feel like that would be more effective than a ukulele.
You'd be surprised at the damage a ukulele can do when it's thrown at you by a zombie monster. Yeah, Dr. Mundo really scary in the late game. When he gets a lot of items on him, he's just so hard to kill and run away from. So that gives them a nice late game option, potentially. Enemy team locked in Shen as their last pick. Shen's a tanky ninja who'll be fighting Joe in the top lane. So now there'll be a short delay because, as we said, we're not allowed to stream their game live to prevent issues with cheating. And so we'll switch back to that Leaguecraft episode and finish that up.
Almost every melee laner has some kind of reach ability. Think of Darius E and Q, or Fizz Q and ulti, or Jax WQ into stun, or Irelia dash to a minion and E them. Something like that. So, since you're melee, you have to be much more vigilant of taking minion damage. But the trade-off that you get is that melee champions are generally much better at all-inning their opponent, So if you do happen to catch them with your reach move, they're probably going to die. So in my first example, I'm moving into the trading stance. When Swain goes to last hit the minion, then I can Q through the minion and use my shark to kill him. In this next clip, I'm moving towards the trading stance on the cannon minion. But since I've already trading stance grabbed him multiple times in this lane, the Graves is very wary of me, and he uses Q to last hit the cannon. But again, I pressure with trading stance on the caster minion, and I manage to grab him successfully. I can then chase him down for the kill. If I wasn't so awful at Darius, or just popped a health potion earlier, it would have been a free kill. But unfortunately, I end up trading 1 for 1, which isn't the worst, but it isn't the best either. So finally, let's look at some examples where trading stance isn't such a good idea. In this first example, I can get a successful trade-off. However, if the LeBlanc uses a QW on me while I'm trading with her, I'll be losing the trade due to the caster minions that will start to attack me after my minion dies. So always be wary of the enemy minions retaliating on you after a trade. In this second example, I can easily trading stance LeBlanc under her turret, but since she's very good at assisting a gank, and I don't have cleanse for her chain, it's too dangerous for me to harass her under turret with this gank pressure. So now, in this final example, I'm in a position to trading stance WQ the TF here. However, if I do so, I'm going to lose the cannon minion. So instead, I choose to CS the cannon minion instead of trading. It's generally better to CS the cannon minion here, because I can always trade on any other minion in the wave. So that just about wraps up episode 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and most importantly learned something. So when it comes to the trading stance, for a concept so simple that even challengers haven't mastered it, keep practicing it, use it in your games, and please tell me in the comments how you go and whether you see any improvements in your laning. So until next time guys, peace.
We still probably have a minute or two or so until we can get in, but take a look.
Let's see, I tried the spectate game button. We'll see how that goes. Looks like it's loading up.
All right. The Birdo, the Galileo in a chicken suit.
Yeah, that's
Big
right.
Big
Birdio.
fan.
Yes, I have that costume as well. I really like it.
If I didn't know every single one of the people on the top team, I might have had to root for them.
Yeah, Nate wearing the Snowmerdinger costume. So instead of a little cat guy, he's like a little snowman. Very cute.
Ha! With the mustache.
Yeah, it looks like the bot lane, Cole and Julia, are going to be the same again. Jin, Nami again, their favored combo. So we'll see how that goes for the miss game. Looks like we're loading in.
All right, 0 minutes. So we're gonna start right here at the beginning.
Yeah, we're here for the very start. Looks like, so you switch sides, or you don't necessarily switch sides every game, but in any given game, you can be on either side. So last time our friends were the red team, now they're the blue team. So unfortunately, that's just one of the features of the game that might make it a little bit harder to watch if you're newer to watching League of Legends. But blue team is the good guys now, so good guys and good gals.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
And yeah, they're all kind of forming up here. Looks like the enemy jungler is coming in right here, trying to place down a vision ward potentially into Jamie's jungle. You can see it's a scarecrow, as that's one of his abilities.
So they're just hiding in that bush. They expect to be able to jump a champion and like kill them, or
I'm not sure what the Fiddlesticks game is right here by
Minions have spawned.
waiting in this bush. It could be that if Jamie were to start on this side of the map trying to fight this monster, that the Fiddlesticks would try to jump in and kill it before him and steal it away. Because just like with jungle monsters, the golden experience goes to whoever hit it last. Not sure what this Fiddlesticks game is, though.
I've never seen this before. Oh, is he trying to steal some of the?
Oh, yep.
That makes sense.
Yep, this is called Jungle Invade. So yeah, he's stealing the jungle monsters that are on Jamie's side of the map, denying Jamie what is rightfully his. So this is a very sneaky little move right here.
So he set that Scarecrow up to make sure that he could get those creature kills without having to deal with the enemy jungler.
That's right. Yeah, to see if Jamie was starting on this side of the map, because you don't know what side they're starting on. So yeah, he's actually going to be stealing all of Jamie's. We call this the blue side jungle because there's this blue monster right here.
Looks like our bot laner is doing well. Was that top? No, must be top. Are they healed up now?
Yeah, it looks like they're getting in some trading. Cole fast hitting the minions to get gold. Oh yeah, Mike reminded me that Cole was Sivir the last game, and they were against a Jhin. I remember that the Jhin was in that game, but yeah, it was actually the enemy team. Cole was Sivir, so good reminder, Mike. Looks like there's a little bit of a stream delay from the spectator tool, so waiting for this to happen right in the middle of a fight between the enemy Shen and Joe Downing on the Garen here. So this is our friend Joe Downing, not on the Aatrox this game. He's on the Garen. It's kind of knight guy with a sword against this tanky ninja.
And right now Garen doesn't have any mana, so he was kind of in a vulnerable position.
Garen actually one of the characters that does not use mana.
I knew that.
So, that's all right. There's a lot of characters to keep track of.
I am totally qualified to be casting this game.
So yeah, Jamie now realizing that the enemy Fiddlesticks has come in and stolen his jungle. This does not feel good. I can tell you, this does not feel good when you walk into a jungle and see it gone. So yeah,
where did everyone go?
Yeah, very sneaky move by the Fiddlesticks.
And that wasn't really something that Jamie did wrong. There wasn't something he could do about it. He just got unlucky that Fiddlesticks invaded the side that Jamie was not on.
Yeah, that's right. It's there's so many paths into the jungle. It's hard to catch them sometimes. It looks like there might be some big fights in the bot lane. Looks like they have put out the Ignite spell on the enemy AD carry Aphelios. Damage over time. Not going to be quite enough, but really nice trades here from Cole and Julia onto the enemy bot lane. You can see from the comparative health bars, blue health bars versus red health bars, our friends are winning that lane. So I'm just going to quickly rearrange the portraits because they're out of order again. I'm very particular about this, so forgive me.
Getting all that damage down is still beneficial because they had to use a potion for sure, so they'll likely won't be able to last as long in the lane, which will give the blue team an eventual advantage.
That's right, Julia lands another bubble. That's right, one of the items you can buy in this game are consumable items called potions that restore your health, and so if the enemy team is forced to use those, that's a non-renewable resource that they have forced the enemy team to use. So they have certainly used the potions at this point. But watch out, here comes the Fiddlesticks. He's looking to gank. He's already level 4 thanks to stealing Jamie's jungle, but it looks like they're pretty ready for this in the bot lane. Julia takes a little bit of damage. She's fleeing from the fear. She flashes away. Oh, the damage from the Aphelios ability finishes her off. She was so close to getting away.
That was a nice play by Red to get that skill shot in right at the end there.
Yeah, that's right. The long range shot from Aphelios there. Yeah. Looks like Fiddlesticks is Cole actually cannot see this. Oh no, he knows what Fiddlesticks is up to. He couldn't see him behind there in the alcove, but looks like he's going to be able to get away. Fiddlesticks putting a little fear into him, but looks like
Cole needs to be careful with 3 people down there and only Cole.
That's right. Yeah, it's they could do a lot of damage to him very quickly, but I think he knows. His limits here. Looks like Jamie may be coming down from the jungle in the lower right-hand corner, what we're looking at right now, kind of relative to where we just were. We kind of moved up in the jungle. Looks like Jamie came down and he cleared his bot side jungle near the bottom of the map and got some of these other monsters, and now he's heading back up, and these monsters that Fiddlesticks stole have now respawned because those monsters come back after a while. Jamie is really good, even though he's a newer player to League, about knowing the timings of jungle respawns, so I'm pretty sure he timed that pretty carefully to know that he'd be able to go back and get those jungle monsters after the steal from Fiddlesticks. Let's take a quick look at the score screen. Yeah, it looks like you can see at the bottom of the screen here, Nate has killed 36 minions here in the yellow, and then the enemy Galio has only killed 23. So Nate building up a really nice lead there. Remember that killing minions gives you gold, which lets you build items, which makes you stronger. So Nate building up a healthy advantage here.
He also had Bridio's health down pretty low as well, so Nate's doing well on both fronts with the poke damage as well as minion kills.
And yeah, Galio Bertio has also used a lot of mana. You can see he barely has any mana left, so he's in a tough spot. Nate's pressuring him, so we'll see what that leads to. Top lane is going okay here. Joe's a little bit low on health. Shen coming in again.
Sneaky bush attack.
Yeah, looks like Joe's going to get away. Fiddlesticks now coming back to steal the jungle camps they cleared out the first time. But guess what? Jamie knew the timings, and he already cleared those out, so you can't steal them again. Looks like he might.
Fiddlesticks was a little late.
Yeah, that's right. He might be waiting here to make a play on the blue monster that will spawn there a little bit later. We'll have to see if he does that. Tries to catch Jamie there. A little bit more fighting in the top lane, but Garen, pretty healthy. One of Garen's abilities is that he restores health over time if he doesn't take damage, so pretty easy for Garen to stay in lane as long as he's able to get some opportunities to restore that health. Looks like Cole and Julia moving together with Jamie. Looks like they might be trying to get an early dragon here, get that Earth Dragon that gives your team the ability to deal more damage to structures. Looks like
they're gonna engage.
Yeah, and Fiddlesticks is not in the right part of the map for this. He was wasting time trying to sneak up on Jamie, and Jamie just didn't fall for it, and they're actually focusing on the objective, so now Fiddlesticks is out of position. But the enemy bot lane is coming in. They're going to be able to deal some damage with their abilities. Our friends moving around to the backside of the pit. Our friends get the dragon. You can see that Cole was able to nab it, and he's actually able to land a skill shot onto the enemy Aphelios. No follow-up there. Jamie's got to be a little bit careful here. He's pretty tanky, but he fighting three people is still hard. Looks like he flashes away and then flashes after the Fiddlesticks. Looks like the Fiddlesticks is going to kill him with the ultimate ability. Nate is able to deal some damage onto the Aphelios, but Aphelios away, so unfortunately a kill goes over to the other team, but the long-term advantage goes over to our friends with the dragon. Fiddlesticks is in here now on Jamie's side of the jungle again, stealing those minions away. Fiddlesticks really intent on trying to date Jamie's jungle minions.
Is it possible to say who won a dragon kill versus 2 deaths, or is it too early in the game to call that?
So I think our friends had already died once in the bot lane, so I think they actually only got 1 kill there for dragon.
Okay.
And it's hard to say because some teams are very. Oh, I think there's some action here. Galio's coming in on Nate. Nate's gonna flash away, gets hit with the spear. He's fleeing away. I think Nate's out here. He throws down his ultimate, which is this huge snow machine gun, and is able to get away from that gank. So good on Nate for using his flash correctly. Yeah, as far as the kill versus the dragon go, it's hard to say because some teams really want to snowball early and gain an early advantage, so that early kill goal is more important. And some teams are really playing for the late game, and they might give up a kill for a dragon because dragons stack up over time and can give you a long-term advantage if you get 4 of them. So I think our team, obviously they don't want to die for dragon there, but I think that they're fine with it. Especially since Mundo is such a great late game champion. Dr. Mundo, the ukulele-wielding zombie that Jamie is playing right here. And Heimerdinger are also quite good in the late game.
I noticed that Fiddlestick seems to be all over the place, which is a sign of a good jungler. Trying to be where the action is generally. They did make that mistake to let the blue team have dragon though.
Yeah, that's right. It's you have to really balance it when you're the jungler of farming camps. Camps are a way of referring to the monsters in the jungle. They're called jungle camps. Farming jungle camps, stealing the enemy's jungle camps, but then also it is the jungler's job. One of their primary responsibilities to be on top of those objectives, like the dragon, like the Rift Herald, and so, yeah, Fiddlestick's kind of taking a risk there, trying to wait for Jamie to show up over there near the top side of the map, and Jamie able to take the dragon off that. So looks like there's a gank happening top. Here comes Jamie with the ukuleles. The ukuleles slow you down. Looks like Shen pushes away. Are they going to go under tower for this? It doesn't look like they want to do that right now. So
I think that was some smart discipline.
Yeah, easy to get Bloodlust and chase that kill under the tower, but Shen kind of hard to dive under tower. You can see, here's the Rift Herald pit, in case you're wondering about that from the last game. Here's the Rift Herald. So if our friends are able to destroy this, they will be able to summon this shelled monster to destroy towers for them. Here comes Fiddlesticks again, just so bent on stealing camps from Jamie, getting in there.
It seems like a good strategy. As long as Fiddlesticks remains in position, it seems like a good play for them.
Yeah, looks like he's trying to come up behind Heimerdinger here. Nate on Heimerdinger. He's destroying Heimerdinger's turrets, which are right here, these little things, because Heimerdinger really relies on those for damage. It looks like Nate's going to be able to get out, though. He's got Jamie there, big beefcake friend to help him walk to safety back under his tower. And then as you can see, he's able to deploy a few more turrets and actually kill the Shen. Yeah, awesome play by Nate there, dropping the bomb, putting a kill on the board for the team. Fiddlesticks probably feeling pretty silly wasting all that time destroying the turrets only to have his top laner get killed by some more. Really a big waste of his time. And then look, see, since the top laner is dead, we've navigated up to watch Joe in the top lane. Shen's not there to defend this. Look, Joe just what they call free farming, just able to kill the minions without contest and then potentially even able to get some power damage down. Shen's about to use his teleport spell. Teleport, very long cooldown. This is going to be really probably about a 6-minute cooldown. Changes throughout the game.
They call that priority, where the minions are all pushed back to that tower.
That's right. Look like Nate is opening with his ult here. Julie also throws out her ult. It looks like this is going to be a double kill potentially, but here comes enemy Fiddlesticks with AoE damage. Oh no, that might be enough to finish off Cole. They've already gotten Jamie. It looks like it is a 2-for-1 in favor of the red team. Fiddlesticks in the right place that time. It was so close. That was such a good gank opportunity by Jamie. Unfortunately, the Fiddlesticks just was in the neighborhood this time and able to convert that into a 2-for-1 for the red team. But, we still picked up the kill on the enemy Aphelios, it looks like, and that's really important. Looks like Fiddlesticks trying to solo the dragon here. Jamie is certainly aware that's what he's trying to do. I do not think our friends have vision on this. They do not. They're not able to see that Fiddlesticks is on the dragon, but here comes Nate. He knows what Fiddlesticks is trying to do. He might be looking for a steal. Fiddlesticks is able to finish off the dragon. Looks like the Birdio came down from the mid lane to help secure it, so our friends were able to get in the pit and try to contest that dragon. Just like with minions, whoever hits the dragon last is the one who gets the buff that helps it. So if our friends were able to get in there and get the last hit, they could have stolen it away, but not quite the right position for that, so maybe next time.
That's all right. Things still seem fairly even. Is it easy to tell, or is it possible to tell right now who may be ahead, or?
At the top, yeah, at the top of the screen, you can see that the red team has 20,000 gold between them, and our friends have 18.7 thousand gold. So 1,300 gold deficit, very easy to make up, really. But it does look like the red team is ahead by a little bit. No one's destroyed any towers yet, so there's not a significant change in the map pressure. Both teams have a dragon, so things really looking pretty even right now.
Okay.
Looks like yeah, the plates are off now. Looks like Joe's trying to collapse on the Shen here, but the Shen pretty strong. Hard for Joe to fight him sometimes when he has certain abilities up. I don't want to go into the ability details right now because they're pretty intricate, but looks like Fiddlesticks trying to clear this ward right here. Wards are a special kind of item you can use to gain vision where you otherwise would not see. So if I switch to the blue vision right here, you can see that even though there's no friendly blue people in this bush, because they have a ward, they can see there. So using your wards to gain vision. Oh, here we go. Looks like the Fiddlesticks is able to land a gank onto Nate with the help of the Galio, and they do take him down. So another kill for the red team. Still red team only up by less than 2,000 gold, so definitely come back from this. But anyway, yeah, putting out wards, controlling vision, being able to see what the enemy is doing, a very important part of the game.
Yeah, it can help protect against those ganks, or help you know when the right time to gank is.
Absolutely. There's a limit to how many wards each player can have on the map. Each player can only have 4 wards on the map at a time at most. So there's just a limit. There's only so many places you can place it. So a big part of the strategy of the game is to know where to put those wards.
We have a good question here in chat.
Mm-hmm.
What is the 0 next to the gold in the top of the screen? And that represents the number of towers that each team has destroyed. So right now, none of the teams have destroyed any towers, so that's why it is 0.
Great question from my mom. Oh, it looks like they're doing a tower dive up here. Gank, Jamie's going in. Both these characters are really low health. Jamie gets the fear put in him by Fiddlesticks. But looks like Nate has picked up the kill on the Shen. We kind of navigated away from that. Sorry to miss the action. Here comes the Galio ult. He's coming in. He knocks up our friends, puts some CC on them. Joe's trying to spin and use the sword arm under the tower, but Joe has picked up the tower aggro for attacking an enemy champion under the tower, and unfortunately, Joe is killed there. Really close on the Fiddlesticks, though. You can see how low Fiddlesticks' health is. He might have been able to pick up that kill. Looks like Jamie trying to kill the enemy minions, trying to stop that backup from coming in. Potentially trying to force the minions in further. Look like they're going to get the wave, the blue minion wave to crash in and call that good. Jumping now to the bottom part of the map with Cole and Julia.
So right now, for me, it feels like still we're kind of in the early phase of the game here since there have been no towers, but I imagine we're going to be transitioning into what we would call mid-game here pretty soon, where people will start wandering away from their lane a little bit more.
Yeah, that's right. Here comes the teleport for Joe trying to make something happen in the bot lane. They're able to get away. Red team disengaging pretty cleanly there, but good idea by Joe to try to get a temporary numbers advantage. But here comes the Fiddlesticks over the wall with the ult. It's a bunch of AoE damage. AoE is area of effect. That means he can deal damage to a bunch of people who are near him. Unfortunately, picks up a double kill on Joe and Julia. Really unfortunate there. This Fiddlesticks.
Does his ult also have fear?
So Fiddlesticks fears you if he comes out of vision where you can't see him. And then he can fear you, and then one of his abilities also has fear on it. So I think both Joe and Julia were feared because he came at them from outside of where they could see.
Yeah, and then that left them unable to really do anything about his sudden appearance.
That's right. That's right. Only able to slowly walk away. Counterintuitive fear mechanic. It's like Jamie was able to kill the Rift Herald in the middle of all that action, so our friends will be able to summon that big Shelly monster to destroy some towers. Hopefully get some gold back in this game. Looks like the Infernal Dragon has spawned, and that's like another big objective.
Where do you think they should use the Rift Herald?
Hard to say. Oh, here comes Fiddlesticks out of the brush at Cole. Cole flashes away. Fiddlesticks flashes after him, but it's not going to work. Fiddlesticks putting a flash there for no reason. It's a long cooldown. Good on Cole to flash away, and then baiting the flash out of the Fiddlesticks for no value. Looks like Nate's going to be feared. Here comes the wave from Nami to CC the enemies. Galio tries to dash on to Nate, but he's not nearly close enough. Looks like Jamie's in there. He's doing a lot of damage. If he gets the shutdown on Fiddlesticks, that's a lot of gold. Yeah, Fiddlesticks is out of position there. Here comes the ult from Aphelios. They're trying to re-engage. They get the kill on to Jamie, but still probably better for the blue team there with all of the shutdown gold that Fiddlesticks is worth. Try to do the dragon. Both junglers are dead, who are the best ones at killing the dragon.
Definitely feels like both teams still want that objective, so they're still hanging around this dragon over here.
That's right, really pressuring Julia away from this bush here, making her go the long round back to lane, but looks like she's going to be okay, and then Cole is going to kill that ward they placed there, so they maintain vision control over this really important.
Yeah, you can see how important that vision control is to the team with the effort that they put to those wards.
That's right. So back to your previous question, were you asking about, where should they drop Rift Herald?
Yes.
Hard to say. I mean, there are a lot of reasons to do it in different places. Sometimes you want to do it in a lane that's been a tough lane, so you can kind of let it be over. And then sometimes you want to do it in a lane where you're really ahead, so you can kind of unlock that champion on your team that's doing really well. But looks like something is going to happen here. They've started up the dragon. It's looks like it's a 3v2. Fiddlesticks comes in with the AoE ult, but Cole and Julia are pretty far away. Here comes the Shen with the teleport. The ultimate lets them come to an ally anywhere on the map. Very powerful. Looks like they kill Jamie. They kill the dragon. That's going to be a pretty strong victory for the red team. The Fiddlesticks ultimate ability combined with the Shen ultimate ability just really they're able to burn Jamie down, even though he's a pretty strong tank. But Jamie's just getting stronger and stronger as the game goes on, and the red team isn't able to get some pretty serious gains off of these early kills. They might be in trouble and might really have a hard time killing him later in the game.
You have noticed in both games now where it's really, really beneficial for teams. Sorry, Joseph, I'll let you continue here.
Looks like they find a kill on Nami under the bot lane tower. Unfortunately, Julia goes down, and Cole does not have quite enough mana to follow up. He the mana bars. The second bar under the larger blue health bar, it's like pretty much empty, so it's very hard to see. Anyway, Cole did not have enough mana to use his abilities. That's one of the limitations of champions. They can't use abilities if they don't have the mana for it, so he wasn't really able to follow up and get the counter kill.
Now it looks like they're pushing into that bottom tower here pretty hard. Oh,
Yeah,
and
that-
the blue team has used the Rift Herald in the middle.
That's right. It looks like the Felix is coming in with that AoE damage, and here comes the Galio on top of him, but it doesn't do that much. Jamie's still alive. Nate drops down his ult, which is the tower that deals a lot of damage, but Galio is so strong versus magic damage, which is the kind that Heimerdinger deals. Doesn't do quite enough. Yeah, it looks like he used the Herald mid, trying to kind of let Nate free out of this lane. By destroying this tower, they would be able to let Nate move to other parts of the map because he wouldn't have to worry about destroying this tower anymore, and he's quite strong. So I think they're looking to try to move him to other parts of the map so he can help where they have some tougher matchups.
Yeah, it's one thing I guess I haven't really noticed, but now it makes sense. Nate's just been kind of hanging out here in mid, just trying to deal with this lane, so it'd be good for him to be able to help in some of those team fights.
That's right, and Nate had a huge CS lead, a huge minion kill lead over the enemy Galio. He's up 44,
That means that
which is
generally
so
speaking,
much.
he has much better items than his mid lane partner.
Yep. Yeah, the enemy Galio really short on items compared to him, but our friends will need to find a way to utilize his damage and his turrets in order to advance the game. And certainly destroying this tower would be a start to that. The enemy team has destroyed our friend's bottom tower. You can see it's not here anymore. So the enemy support, Brand, the fire guy, and the enemy Aphelios, this guy, have now come to the mid lane to try to knock down Nate's tower. You can see Fiddlesticks off here in the corner. Cole's kind of chasing him down, threatening him.
He is engaged.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks running for his life there. Pretty scared of Cole. They're crashing the wave in here. Our friends are grouping up now. I wonder what the call is going to be. Looks like Nate has to go home. You can see his secondary blue bar under his health is very low. That's his mana. Heimerdinger really needs mana to affect the fight, so he's got to go home. When he goes back to the fountain back here, he restores his health and mana. You can see that bar is full now, so he's going to be able to come back into the fight, buy more items, and be really powerful with that big CS lead he has. So hopefully they're going to be able to convert that.
Which tower did we kill? I missed that. Because it's 1-to-1 tower.
It looks like the top lane tower's gone. Oh, here comes the Fiddlesticks behind, and the Shen ult on top with the Wombo combo there from the enemy team is so big. Joe goes in, tries to use his ultimate ability on the Brand, but it does not quite work. They take down the Fiddlesticks. Cole's ult is coming up a little bit short. Oh, he was so close to dealing a ton of damage to the Galio, the Brand, the Aphelios. But it looks like it is going to be a one-for-one trade there. The junglers both die. Our team's health bar is in pretty decent shape. Their health bar is in okay shape. But remember that Julia on this Nami has the ability to heal our friends. If the enemies stay here, Julia may be able to kind of top off their health bars. It looks like the call is just for them to go their separate lanes. Cole goes bot. You can see that there is a big wave crashing in here that he had to go deal with. It looks like the enemy Shen is pathing towards him. Not sure what the Shen is up to over here. He steps in mine. That's one of Cole's abilities. Then Cole's able to follow up with his W, which locks him in place. Shen gets the picture. He is not welcome here. He runs away.
Not welcome here. You shall not pass.
That's right. Cole is not taking that. Looks like the dragon's going to be soon. You can tell on the mini map over here, this little kind of hourglass symbol means that the dragon is, I think it's 30 seconds away when it's gray and then 10 seconds away when it's yellow.
Oh, there's two people up top. Looks like they're either backing or they must be teleporting.
Yeah, looks like they're going home.
Back
They're trying to get strong for this dragon fight because dragon is coming up in 10 seconds here. You can see the enemy Shen trying to establish vision. Jamie's already ready, and so is Nate. He's establishing his turrets right here in the dragon pit so they can burn it down really quickly and have control over it. Nate is so strong at taking this dragon, and with Jamie there, I don't know if they're going to want to contest, but here comes the Fiddlesticks. He might try to jump in and use that big damage ult. Our friends have gotten the dragons. Two dragons and two are going to be able to disengage. They're going to look for a fight here. Looks like Nate is safely out. Our friends are together. It looks like they're just going to disengage. They take the dragon, they walk away. There's still a little bit of a gold deficit, so I think this is smart. You know, they want to take the long-term advantage of the dragon and then get out of there.
In the meantime, some of our minions got a tower as well.
Oh, yeah, it looks like the mid lane turret fell to the minions potentially.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so nice wave manipulation by our friends. That's a really complicated part of the game that we won't talk too much about, but there's a way of killing the minions a particular way to control when they hit towers, and Nate really good at that. Oh, look at the enemy team. So sneaky. They're all stacked up
Wow.
right here, waiting for someone to walk in. Our friends cannot see this. Here it comes. They're trying to get onto Jamie, but Jamie is so strong. Are they going to be able to kill him? Looks like he flashes away. They do get the kill. The double bubble knock up on them. Cole goes in with the ult, but it looks like they're out of his range. They might be looking to kill Baron Nashor here. Remember, the Baron buff gives a huge buff to minions, and they are setting up for this. But look, Nate is right in there with his turrets, getting ready to set up, scaring them off the Baron. Here comes the Fiddlesticks with the AoE ult. He takes the first. Here comes the Galio ult for no value. Cole's trying to kite away from the Fiddlesticks. Looks like he is going to be able to get away. Here comes Joe to help him. Looks like they're going to be able to take the Fiddlesticks here, use the ability to make himself temporarily invulnerable. Shen tries to get on top of Cole, but Cole is out. It looks like Nate is able to kill the Fiddlesticks, but Joe goes down. So far, it's 1 down for the enemy team and 2 down for red. Or 2 down for blue, I'm sorry. 1 down for the enemy team and 2 down for us. So it's a 1 for 2. They're able to clean up the kill on the Fiddlesticks there, though. Important to take him out of the picture, because without the Fiddlesticks alive, they're not able to make a play on the Baron, really. Their team does not have someone who can take the Baron besides Fiddlesticks very effectively, so they have to back away here. Really important that they got the Fiddlesticks there, so the enemy team could not take Baron.
The enemy team still was able to get this mid turret as well as kill on Jamie there. So I think the red team, unfortunately, is probably okay with how that happened.
Yeah, killing Fiddlesticks there, a little bit of a silver lining for the blue. Ultimately, a lot of resources going over to them. Looks like the heroes are now at about a 4,500 gold deficit. Still something you can come back from, but that's a meaningful number of items, and therefore a meaningful amount of power that is in favor of the red team. But what our friends will probably be looking to do now is trying to catch one of the red team members alone and try to kind of gang up on them and kill them when their friends aren't around in order to get a temporary numbers advantage.
I just noticed that Fiddlesticks was able to purchase an item. I don't even know how to say it, but that will make him quite strong. Morellonomicon or something.
Morellonomicon, that's right.
Yeah, I think that's gonna make him even scarier.
Yes, absolutely. Morellonomicon has an ability attached to it that prevents enemies who are hit with it from healing for a short period of time, and unfortunately, Jamie's abilities involve a lot of self-healing. That's part of what makes him so tanky and resistant, is that he has a crazy amount of self-healing. So that is a really good purchase against Jamie. Good on the enemy Fiddlesticks for knowing that. Hopefully our friends will be able to fight through that itemization. It looks like they're trying to pressure Joe in the top lane. Joe, the only turret that has not fallen yet for our team is Joe's top lane turret. So, good on him for protecting that valiantly while also making an effect on the map.
One thing you notice about Joe's health bar is there's tons of little teeny black dashes, meaning he has a lot of health now, but as does the enemy top laner.
That's right, yeah. And Joe taking the damage from the minions here so that they do not hit the tower. Looks like they might have found that 3v1 they're looking for. They catch the Fiddlesticks, get him quite low, but his friends show up. Looks like now they have to be careful, because 4v4, the Fiddlesticks has taken about 33% of his health. That was a really great attempt by our friends to find that play they need. That's called a pick, when you kind of find an enemy alone and kill them with a bunch of your friends around. So that's exactly what they're looking for. Now they're kind
Getting
of
that numbers advantage is really useful.
Absolutely, because even if they're ahead on golden items, it doesn't matter if someone's not around to use those items that they built.
And that is a really important way to come back when you may be a little bit behind, is to slowly pick off individual enemy champions.
That's right. Our friends now fighting over vision for the dragon pit. The Infernal Dragon's coming up. It looks like the call is made. While they're here, they might as well take this tower, and that is going to help shorten up that gold lead that the enemy team has. Looks like in the meantime, the top tower has fallen too, so it's a trade of towers. Looks like the top laners are not quite in position, but our friends are going to have to be careful. Here comes the Fiddlesticks ult and the Galio ult. Oh, they just melt through our friends, unfortunately. Health bars just disappear. Nate is down. Julia is down. Jamie's trying to get away. Unfortunately, Garen has a lot of abilities, but he's not able to teleport across the map like his opponent Shen is, so it's just hard for him to show up to the fights in the same way. Now it's a 3v5, and they're going to have to concede this dragon, which I think is the right call. They're going to probably look to push out this wave potentially, or no, what they're doing is they're probably going to try to get vision over here near Barons of the enemy team. They can see if the team is trying to do Baron.
So it does look like, yeah, red is headed up here.
Yeah, looks like they are the red sweeper effect that you can see around the support. That helps the enemy find wards. They can see if our friends have wards on it. Looks like they're going through this Baron pretty quickly. Nate's still dead for 5 seconds, but he does have teleport. He might be able to teleport in to contest this dragon. It's getting pretty low. You can see it's at 1,000 health, 900 health. They have gotten, the enemy team has gotten the Baron buff. Here comes Cole with his ult to try to stop them from going back to their base. Damage, trying to make time. Looks like Nate teleported into the top lane. Here he comes to the river. Will the red team be able to disengage? It looks like they will. So they're going to be able to get away with that Baron buff and the significant advantage it provides to the minions.
One thing is Nate couldn't teleport in as close as he may have wanted to because I don't think they had necessarily wards or towers in appropriate place to teleport much closer.
That's right. The teleport ability, you can go to a tower or a ward or a minion. And unfortunately, yeah, our friends did not have a ward near the Baron buff because the enemy team used the sweeper to eliminate them. So Nate had to come into the top lane and had a significant distance to walk before that. Looks like Cole's taking some pretty significant damage, but they are being able to walk away from it. It looks like the call is for, you can see in the minimap, Joe is in the top lane. He's going to be bringing in a big wave to push in the tower while the enemy team is wasting time with our friends right here. So this is actually a really smart call. Looks like he's going to let that big wave crash in and then back off. The enemy team's going to have to send someone top to deal with this huge wave that's coming in. That's going to deal a significant amount of damage to the tower. Careful. Enemy team a little sloppy here, just letting that hit without sending anyone back to it. I guess they think they can counter push more strongly with the Baron buff. We'll see if that happens.
Sometimes being ahead can make you, or decision-making skill, or maybe you worry less about your specific decision-making skills because you think you have significant advantage.
Yeah, watch out. Here comes the Fiddlesticks ult coming in over the wall. The Galio ult on top of it. They just have such a good combo on their team for team fighting. Yeah, they get 2 for 0. Our friends go down. Looks like we lost Nate and Julia in that fight. So we'll have Jamie, Joe, and Cole to help push out this wave. But yeah, our friends in a dire situation. This enemy team drafted their composition so well. The abilities they have work together so well. And, this is just a really excellent showing by Red in terms of using their abilities correctly.
Yeah, they all seem to crash all at once, and it does seem like they also target one person specifically, and that person just, as you've been saying, melts and just kind of gets killed very, very quickly.
Yeah, so hard for these low health characters like Julia and Nate to survive through that kind of damage. Looks like Nate is back alive now, so blue team 5 alive. We'll see if the red team tries to push in and end the game here. Looks like they are declining. They got the inhibitor. So remember, that means that the enemy will get super minions, very powerful minions, to push into our friend's base. But the game's not over yet.
Yeah, there's still opportunities for picking off the enemy players if you can find them out of position, as well as trying to maybe compete for some objectives if timed correctly.
That's right, because Baron the Baron Nashor comes back. Just like the jungle camps, it takes a little bit longer, but there will be another Baron. So if our friends can maybe get a pick and get a numbers advantage, they might be able to force an objective like that. So you can see here the enemy super minions. You can see how tough they are, despite having so many abilities and attacks thrown at them by Cole and Nate. Just really, really tough to kill.
This game is going on much longer than the previous game.
Yeah.
35 minutes now.
Yeah, our friends holding on really well, just, as we identified, being at a gold deficit that unfortunately has grown, but they've, I think, made some really smart calls. They've taken some necessary risks, which haven't always necessarily worked out, but when you're behind, you have to do, you just have to make some tough calls. Look like Nate opening with the ultimate here, looking to zone them off of the dragon pit, trying to catch them. Looks like they got a little bit of Brand's health. We'll see if it's enough. They're setting up a play right here. They know the enemy team can't see them in this bush. Here comes Joe as well, maybe coming from the side. Here's Nate. They're all
The Dragon's about to
here.
come back.
This may be the last fight of the game. Oh, they find a pick onto Joe, but let's see if Joe's able to blast cone away, using that to knock away the enemies and keep himself safe. Really nice play by
That was
Joe
a
there.
great blast cone.
So hard. Oh, here come, they catch the Fiddlesticks. Is he going to be able to ult? No, they catch him in a chain of CC. Oh, the Fiddlesticks uses Zonies, become temporarily invulnerable. Here comes the Galio on top. The Fiddlesticks is able to flash away. Looks like there are no kills yet, but the Galio and the Shen are doing so much to zone away our friends. Looks like we get a kill onto the Brand. All of our team is alive. The enemy team gets the Dragon, but the Galio is really low. Here comes Jamie. Look how tough he is still. He's got so much health. Here's Nate. Oh, Nate gets killed by the Aphelios. Let's see if they get the follow-up kill. No, Aphelios gets a triple kill onto our team. I think that's the last fight of the game, unfortunately. It was so close, and they almost got the Fiddlesticks. Unfortunately, he has this sneaky item called Zonia's Hourglass that allows him to become temporarily invulnerable for 2.5 seconds. Really powerful item. You can only use it once every minute and a half, I believe, but that gives them the time necessary to stay alive, and they're not able to finish that kill. Now it's Joe against 5 of them. He's gonna, for charity, he's gonna try to finish some of them off. Unfortunately, he's not able to get that last kill. Looks like the enemy team's gonna take the Nexus, but looks like our team did raise, was it 10, 12 points for charity? So that's almost a whole mask, just this, or a whole 2 masks just this game. They'll be doing charity because of their valiant efforts. So well played by them, and good luck in the next round.
That was a, I don't know. I'm stressed out. That was a tough game. Well fought.
Yeah, they were really doing their best, and yeah, it was a tough one. They've been matched against really strong teams, and that happens. I played in Clash yesterday, and we had the same thing happen. We lost the first 2 games, and then we were able to win the third, which hopefully is what's going to happen for our friends today. But sometimes you just get outmatched, and despite making all the best plays you can, it doesn't quite shake out in your favor. I think they had a lot of the right ideas, but they were so close to that Fiddlesticks in the last game. I mean, that was absolutely what they needed to do, because without that damage coming out from him, they would have stood, I think, a very good chance against the other 4, but not quite able to get the last damage on him.
Yeah, it's impossible to say what was the tipping point or the main factor, but the early Lux ban, as well as oh my gosh, Yasuo ban, really could have put Nate on his back foot there with the having to pick Snowman guy instead.
Yeah, because Nate good at so many champions, but ultimately still it's you're the best at a certain number. You can't be the best at every champion you play, and so yeah, absolutely. Even though he's very good at Heimerdinger, not getting those picks that he wanted, the Lux, the Cho'Gath, the Yasuo, might have
the Cho'Gath, right?
Influenced his mid lane. But even so, as we identified in the game, despite being put on something he didn't want to play, he had a massive CS lead in that game.
Yeah, he was playing really well. I didn't mean to down count that. Just trying to tie the whole beginning of the game and the drafting and the banding back to the ending a little bit.
Absolutely. And in a similar place, Jamie on Dr. Mundo there rather than Zach. And Dr. Mundo has a very strong late game, but he's not nearly as good in the early game. Harder for him to help his laners early on. And so that could have been a factor too, because the Fiddlesticks was really doing so much work early.
Yeah, remember back to when Fiddlesticks was invading, stealing all that gold early on. Oh wow, here we go.
Yeah, they've looks like their opponent's game was much shorter than theirs, so they're already in the next draft phase. So here we go.
No rest for the wicked.
Yeah, that's right. Looks like the enemy team's going to have first pick. So they are the blue side. Our friends are going to be the red side again. They're going to be the red team. Looks like the first ban that comes out from the enemy team is Jhin. So that means the champion that Cole played in the last game not going to be available this game.
Jhin is the character with that wide arcing ultimate that shoots 4 bullets in a very wide arc and hits anything in the way.
Yep, that's right. Really powerful ultimate. Looks like they target Cole again. They come through with a Jinx ban, really trying to pinch his champion pool here. We'll see if he goes with a Sivir again, or if they aim another ban at him. That is something you can do, is just aim your first 3 bans at one person and really try to put them on something that they're not confident with. We'll see though, because Cole also plays a mean Caitlyn, so he's still got that in his back pocket as well.
Cole once again on Amumu. Could just be that Amumu is like first in the alphabet, and that's what he's always on. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like the next ban coming through is against Senna, so that's going to be targeted against Julia. So all three of their first bans against the bot lane. Looks like they're really scared of Cole and Julia, which is warranted. I mean, they're a great duo. I would not want to duo lane against them, and they've carried us to many victories in Clash. So looks like the first pick for them is their jungler. They come through with the Vi. Very powerful early, has a strong ultimate ability, able to dive in and attack your backline. But it looks like they're going to lock in the Nami here. So Julia on her favorite pick again. And yep, looks like they're going to lock in the Sivir for Cole.
Makes sense that they want to lock in so that they don't get picked banned against any more or any deeper into their champion rotation.
Yeah. Once, especially Cole, having those 2 picks taken away. Looks like they're going to, enemy team's going to lock in Yuumi, a very adorable cat champion. Rides on your shoulders. Look like they take the Caitlyn, very long range sniper. We'll see how that plays out. Yuumi Caitlyn, I think, is a little bit of a risk into Nami Sivir. I think the enemy team is playing with fire here.
Why is that?
A lot more kill potential out of Nami Sivir. Yuumi Caitlyn Caitlyn does a lot of damage, but Nami does not. So we'll have to see how that bot lane plays out. Looks like Nate able to get in on the Lux pick that he's been wanting, so that's awesome.
Joseph looking like he's going to get his, or at least he wants his Garen pick, but I guess we have 2 bans incoming that might step on that.
That's right, and they
My guess
know.
is they're going to ban the Zac, though, if I had to guess. Oh,
Yeah.
I was right.
Yeah, Jamie's so good at Zac. They're not going to let that through. So we might see him on Mundo again. We might see him on Volibear. We'll have to see how he feels about that.
My guess is he'll be lobbing more ukuleles.
You think we'll see some more ukulele action?
Yep.
All right. I think that's a decent bet. Fiora ban coming through from our team. Fiora, one of my absolute favorite champions to play. She's so fun, and I'm so bad at her. Really challenging to play well. You really need a fast reaction time, and really, you just need to be really on top of it to play her. And I wish my mechanics were good enough and that my reaction time was fast enough. And it's not quite for it to be used in serious games. Oh, there comes the Garen ban, targeted at Joe. So we'll see.
I was wrong.
They put him on the Poppy or the Aatrox. I'm guessing it's going to be Aatrox for Joe. Yeah, it looks like they're locking in the Aatrox. Big scary demon with the sword. Joe is very good at him. I tried to play Aatrox when I was practicing with Jamie because I was like, oh, I'll be like Joe. I'll play Aatrox. And I went 0-6. So I got 0 kills and died 6 times in like the first 12 minutes of the game. It was so bad. Really tricky champion to play well. And Joe really has a lot of the nuance of it down. So hopefully he'll be able to leverage that against them in this game.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of games where Joe slowly scales up Aatrox to being unstoppable.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be against the Set in the top lane, which I know is not one of his favorite matchups, but it is one he's played a lot. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
Not one of his favorites is kind of a euphemism for he absolutely hates him.
I think he's learned a lot about it though, and I think just the first time he played against it, Set has some really unique mechanics that make him frustrating to play against. Enemy team also locks in Katarina. You can see over here with the red hair. She's pretty scary. She's mid. She's against Nate, so we'll have to see how Nate goes against that. Katarina kind of like Fiddlesticks with a big AoE damage ult. Looks like Jamie is going to lock in the Volibear.
I was wrong. Imagine being so bad that you have to play Volibear. Sorry, that's an inside joke. Jamie's not bad.
Yeah, some people get salty about Volibear because they think he's easy to play, and I'll tell you, no champion is easy to play in this game. All the champions are hard. There are champions that are hard in different ways. Like I was saying, Fiora is very hard kind of mechanically and in terms of reaction time. But other champions are harder in terms of having to know the overall strategy of the game or knowing what items to build. So some people jump on Volibear and think he's easy, but like Aatrox, I've played Volibear and just done nothing with him because he can be really hard to know when to use your abilities with. So yeah, Jamie, been practicing Volibear a lot. We'll have to see how that goes.
I played some Volibear with Jamie last night.
That's right. I played when I was practicing for Clash, I played a game against Volibear and just got utterly destroyed by him. He was actually in the top lanes of the jungle, but a very scary champion that can deal a lot of damage. All right, looks like they're loading. We're going to jump off Nate's stream and get ready to spectate. So there you can see there's this spectator delay for 2 minutes. This is a good time to run to the bathroom, grab some snacks. I'm going to mute my microphone for a second so I can do that too, and then we'll be right back with you in 2 minutes.
BRB, elevator music. All right.
And we are back. Looks like we're about to jump into the game. So yeah, a lot less of a wombo combo team the enemy is playing here. So team fights will play out a little bit differently this game.
Yeah, it's interesting how the composition can change things so drastically, yet the game is still so well balanced.
Absolutely, the number of things you can do that are viable in this game are so huge. And yeah, it's just a fascinating game. It's just like so many different elements, from what champion you pick to what items you buy to what strategies you pursue in the game. Reminder that the blue team are the enemies this time, and then the red team are going to be the heroes. Here they are all lining up on the fountain, waiting to leave. So in the top lane, we've got Joe Downing on his Aatrox. In the jungle, we've got Jamie on the new champion. He's playing third unique champion on the Volibear. Nate is going to be on his Lux pick right here. A mage. Is their champion as well. Julia's back on the Nami. Again, 3 games in a row?
Yes, I think so.
And Cole back on the pizza delivery Sivir. So we'll see if there's any early game action. You can see they're getting ready to, watch the entrances to the jungle to make sure there's not an invade like the Fiddlesticks was able to pull off last time. Not falling for that, Not today, Satan. Isn't that the meme?
Today, Satan. Is that South Park or
I'm not sure where that comes
I don't
from.
know.
Maybe some of the viewers know, and we'll
South Park's a safe guess for most everything.
yes. What percent of memes come from South Park?
Yeah,
It's at least 90, right?
it's up there. It's
So
up there. Are they still making those? Am I aging myself? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know if they're new South Park episodes. I never watched it. I think I've seen like one episode of South Park in my entire life.
All right, so it looks like they're starting off with a little bit of help to get one of the stronger creatures.
That's right. This is pretty common. You can see the blue team did it as well, helping their jungler get that first creature, making that clear a little bit easier. Yeah, look at this big scary bear that Jamie is playing. I would not want to be against him. Looks like already some damage traded in the mid lane. You can see Katarina's missing some of her health, as is Nate. Nate's so good on Lux. Really hoping to see
Reminder to
him.
self and people that we're now the red team.
Right.
So we're going top to bottom.
Yep. Yeah. The change in view can be really disorienting.
There is actually statistically an advantage to being the blue team,
No.
just a little bit.
That's right. Oh, Joe landing some really good damage onto Set here.
Set's not afraid. Look at him.
Yeah, he tried to trade back to Downing. I don't know if that's a good idea. Joe Downing has a lot of life steal in his kit. Or Aatrox is able to like regain health very quickly. I guess Set is able to as well, but yeah, hard to tell who that trade favored. But Joe landing those Qs. Looks like some more fighting. Katarina was on top of Nate. Katarina, this character, very mobile, able to dash around and get on top of longer range characters to deal them damage. It looks like there's a very slight stream delay, which we also experienced last time, so not too much to worry about. Looks like Jamie is heading towards the top side, maybe looking to sneak up on the Set. Let's see if Set has vision. Here's the red vision.
So that's our vision.
So here's the blue vision. So Set cannot see Jamie right now. The enemy top laner cannot see where he is. So Jamie potentially able to come in with a sneak here. Watch for the bear to throw him over his shoulders. Here it comes. Oh, sorry. Throws him over his shoulders after this flashes away. Here comes the big Set shield, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. Does Joe have another Q? His Q's pretty long range. Oh, so close, but they are able to burn the Set's flash. Really nice gank by Jamie. Looks like there was a lot of action in the bottom lane as well. Julia taking quite a bit of damage, but she's able to get away safely. Another kind of mini objective by taking that Rift Scuttler. Now Jamie has vision right there.
So far, things feel quite evenly matched. Red team being aggressive with ganks and blue team being able to stay alive, but I think the red team is doing a really good job being aggressive early on.
Yeah, look how much damage Nate has traded onto this Katarina. I mean, he is really giving her a run for her money, and they're about even on CS. You can see down here Nate's kills 30, Katarina 27. But because he forced her back, it looks like Nate is going to get most of this next wave, potentially all of it. So he may have a very significant CS lead by the time he goes back home. Looks like there's a little bit. Looks like there's a little bit more fighting here. Julia's come back from lane, or from base. Caitlyn doing a surprisingly good job. I thought Caitlyn was going to be under a ton of pressure, but her and Yuumi, this little adorable cat character, doing a pretty good job staying alive. It's like they are pretty experienced players, so Cole and Julia may have their work cut out for them. Oh, it looks like there's a tangle up here. Here comes Set and Vi. Everyone's pretty low, and they are stepping on a ward. Our team has vision of them on that red ward.
Yeah, everyone was a little bit tentative there to really engage with low health.
Yeah, and Vi charging over the wall, trying to look for a fight. Joe's pushed up here. He knows they're in the jungle. He uses a nice little dash to skate away. Looks like Vi is just going to aim a punch towards the river and just get out of there. Katarina's come back to lane, so Nate needs to be a little bit careful here. Oh no, Nate also backed as well. I'm sorry, I thought Nate had not backed yet. So both of them have purchased items now, except that Nate had more gold when he went back. So Nate had a little bit of a power advantage here in the mid
What did
lane.
Nate purchase?
Looks like Nate got Amplifying Tome and Boots of Speed and a Control Ward. Nate, great player, so consistent, putting down wards and making sure that our team can see what it needs to see. He's really, really on top of that. So him with the Control Ward is really good to see. This might get dicey. Looks like the Katarina has jumped on top of him. Nate misses his Q. No, Katarina just uses her E to dash onto people. She has so much mobility. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Katarina's E has very low cooldown for strong dash ability. Yeah, we actually don't. Katarina used to be a much more popular character. We don't see her quite as much anymore. So, looks like Vi is on the dragon. She is trying to solo it. A lot of action in the early game here.
Red does not have vision on that. Otherwise, I think we.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Red does not have vision. Looks like Jamie is waiting to gank bot lane. And she sneaks the dragon. Yeah, just unfortunate there. We were so close, but just didn't quite work out. Are they going to meet up in the jungle? Looks like Vi is trying to sneak up on Jamie. He's doing his blue buff. He doesn't see her yet.
Does he not?
I don't believe he does.
And it's probably in her best interest. She's going to try to steal it. Oh, no.
Yep. She was able to steal it away from him. Now she's trying onto him. Dealt him a fair amount of damage. Unfortunately, Cole is quite low, so he can't really come to help. This Vi, very tricky. Sneaking the dragon, sneaking the blue buff. Yeah, they're really using the Fog of War to their advantage. Really unlucky.
With all three players backing at the same time, they may now try to coordinate some sort of attack on something else.
Yeah, that's right. And
splitting.
and able to the blue bottom laner is able to get some significant damage down on this turret. So yeah, still the early game. Blue's making some good plays. Looks like Joe has a little bit of a CS lead in the top lane. He's up 6 CS on the set, so Joe, set is so hard to lane against. And like I said, Aatrox requires so much mechanical skill to play, and luckily Joe is a very mechanically skilled player, despite just starting the game pretty frequently. Looks like they're fighting with Shuttle Crab. Jamie's not going to lose that one. He is not going to have that, so he takes that one. That's a kind of important little mini objective for the red team. So yeah, Jamie, fool me once. Oh, Nate dealing so much damage, unleashing the Lux ultimate ability, which is a big laser that can go so far, almost killing the Katarina. Could have forced her out of lane, and potentially going to do some power damage here. Looks like Set is coming in for Joe, who's a little low on health.
Looks like this is going to be a trade back and forth with not much happening there.
Yeah,
he's going at it.
The mid lane looks like Cole is coming up to capitalize on the fact that Katarina was forced on lane, so Lux, Nami, and Cole, Nate, Julia, and Cole able to get some significant tower. Then Nate catches her with a Q. Nate's Q ability roots the enemy in place. You can see when he hits her with it that the word rooted appears above her head, so she cannot move. Nate's a little low on mana, though. I think he is going to spend that gold that he earned. Caitlyn and Nami pushing into this bot lane. We'll see now that Cole and Julia have backed if they're able to find a good fight onto this bot lane. Neither of them have. Looks like Cole's at level 6 and Julia's about to. So they're going to have their ultimate abilities, but Nami and Caitlyn have their ultimate abilities as well. If Julia's able to land a bubble, they might be able to find a good fight.
Going up to help in that mid lane did allow the blue team at the bottom there to do some significant damage to that tower.
That's right. That's one of the many trades and tactical things that decisions that you make during the game that you have to make a moment while also worrying about is the enemy jungler going to come and kill me? Where is the enemy top laner going to teleport in and try to fight me? So yeah,
that's
really
one thing I like about League is your decision making is immediately like awarded or rewarded or like shown to be wrong right away, so you can learn really quickly.
Yeah, things can go sideways very quickly. You're absolutely right. So a lot of times when you make a mistake. Oh, look, I taking another objective while Jamie is looking for a gank in the bot lane, which looks like they had a control ward, so he's not going to be able to do that. Looks like they are able to land a kill onto Julia in the bot lane there.
Did they?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
great.
they've
First
got a
kill.
kill. Yeah, Jamie hanging around, seeing if maybe they push up too far. But two of them in the top lane now against Joe fighting Valiant to protect his tower. Looks like he's gonna walk away. Vi unleashes her ultimate, which brings her on top of him and kills him. This Vi, really good, taking objectives, finding kills. Looks like they defeated the Rift Herald, so now they're gonna unleash it right next to the tower and take a bunch of plates off this tower.
I've never seen Rift Herald placement right there before.
Yeah, that was interesting. Looks like they get a counter kill on the Katarina in the mid lane though, so they're gonna get a nice push here with the minions.
They'll get
Not-
the plate for sure.
Yeah, looks like
Whoa,
red team
look
is
at a tower.
blue team's able to take a tower. Set teleports to the mid lane to stop that push. So that first Rift Herald is so strong. We'll have to see what Joe does now that first tower is gone. He's going to be unlocked, able to move around the map now, though. And it's a little fight here, so that's going to get some damage onto Jamie, but Jamie uses his four-legged run to run away.
Is that that's an ability?
Yeah, it's one of his abilities to speed up and run on four legs. You know, Joe often wins lane and kills the first tower. I've also seen him many times come back from losing the tower first, so he is certainly not out of this. Very strong. It looks like he's fighting 4v3 now, though. Yeah, unfortunately. Remember that the cat is also there, even if you can't always see her. Luckily, he's able to use another smart blast cone play to get away, so Joe skating out of there, able to get himself out of trouble despite being in a 4v1 essentially. So they waste a lot of cooldowns on him. They use the cat commit on him. They are trying to burn down this dragon, though. Looks like our
Think
team's
Lux is
having a
gonna try to
hard
steal it?
time. Lux might try to steal it with the ult. Here comes the laser. Does a bunch of damage to Caitlyn. Cole is. It looks like Julia's gone down. The red team the blue team has gotten the dragon, and they're fighting Cole. He flashes away. Looks like Nate almost catches them with the Q. Oh, looks like Katarina sneaks up on Jamie and kills him in the jungle. Very unfortunate. The team was right to contest that dragon. It's an important objective.
They almost had it.
Yeah,
as well.
the fight just might go their way. It looks like they did get the kill onto the set, so they do get something out of it. You know, right call, execution didn't quite pan out, but yeah.
I wonder if they'll utilize the top or the set kill to depush the top, because that one is where they lost a tower. But
That's
they're not
right.
heading back there.
Yeah, looks like
Oh, there's Joe.
Joe, yeah, maybe going to catch this. We'll have to see if he tries to push it in or if he just tries to make sure that it doesn't crash on their tower. Bottom tower for our friend, still holding on by a thread. Hopefully they'll be able to protect this. Here comes Set through the jungle, though. We've navigated to a different part of the map. We're kind of in the dragon pit now. Jamie does not see Set, although it looks like, oh no, he just showed up on vision near Nate's tower, so he kind of gave up his vision advantage there. Jamie is kind of waiting to see what Set does. Maybe
Are you
looking.
gonna pinch him? No, not quite.
Yeah, Jamie's using the sweeper here to see if they have any vision. So the blue team does not know that they're here. They might be looking to collapse on the blue team.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, here's a 4v1 versus the Set. He's getting flipped over his head, Jamie's head, taking
Got a
so
flash.
much damage. There's the flash, there's the shield. They're going to be able to finish him off. Nice pick.
Oh wow. They still got Cole though, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like they lose Cole in the chase, so it's a 1-for-1. Yeah. Very close to being cleanly 1-for-0. Look how low Katarina is.
Oh wow.
I wonder what she's going to do. Here comes Vi. I think she's going to ult onto Joe. Oh, no, she doesn't need to. She uses the powerful punches of Vi to finish him off. Unfortunately, he was low from his fight with Katarina. He got her really low. He got the Katarina so low, but unfortunately, the Vi comes
very
in.
opportunistic, and taking advantage of every little chance they get. The blue team has been.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, they're playing a very happy team. You know, unlike kind of the Wombo combo team that they played previously, I think this team really likes these small skirmishes. Even though they
Looks
have
like the red team got the
potential.
bottom turret.
Yep, you are absolutely right. So it's 2 towers to 0 right now, 6 kills to 3. Our heroes at a 5,000 gold deficit. Still something you can make up for sure. Enemy team has dragons, so they're fighting an uphill battle. But you know, I've seen a lot of comebacks from this range of being down.
Looks like V is pinging that the Rift is up in 52 seconds, so I guess they're going to be trying to get the Rift Herald here when that comes up.
That's right. They got the last Rift Herald. So to see, I know that Jamie is going to be on top of that timing as well, so I'm sure he is going to be looking to contest that. Looks like he's going to catch this blue wave, stop it from crashing into the mid tower.
Oh, Jamie has Fear, like Fiddlesticks did last game.
That's right, he does.
I would be afraid of that bear as well.
We quickly navigated over to the Rift Herald pit. It's about to spawn. They're going in on it. The red team knows the timing, but it looks like I saw a ping that they're going to. It looks like they're going to try to get vision on it. Here comes Cole. He throws a ward over it. They can see that they're doing it. Cole comes around. He's got to be careful, though. It's 2v1. He doesn't necessarily know who's in there. It looks like he just saw Set and Vi. They're doing it, but they're also pressuring the mid lane, so Jamie was having a hard time getting over there. Really nice execution by the blue team to pressure the mid lane while also doing the Rift Herald so that Jamie could not come and contest. They are just really good at these objectives.
Yeah, it's hard to be in multiple places at once.
It really is. And the Dragon coming up soon, too, so we'll have to see if the blue team can get both those objectives. Unfortunately, one thing they can do is they can drop the Rift Herald right here and force the red team to deal with it. For the Dragon, looks like Jamie's taking some damage, but Nami's healing him up. Joe goes into ultimate form. They're going to try to kill the Rift Herald. Here comes the Yuumi ult. Joe goes down. It's for 0 right now. Here comes Vi going in. Nate's able to get away, but he takes another Set ult. He flashes away. Set is under the tower taking damage. We get the Set. Looks like the Yuumi jumps onto the Katarina. That's a 2-for-1, it looks like. Joe went down, but Set and Vi, who very aggressively jumped from the tower. They're not going to be able to go for the Dragon now. Yeah, this Caitlyn very confident.
They have a Yuumi riding on her, so that's going to help, right?
That's absolutely right. Yuumi able to give speed boost and healing. Sometimes hard to see Yuumi in these fights because she's just kind of attached to another character, but she is there. So sometimes it looks like someone's alone, but there's actually a very helpful cat on their shoulders.
Yeah, if you could see me right now, I'm like 6 inches from my screen, just like looking very closely.
Looks like there are some pings to get vision around the Dragon. Caitlyn's going to get that Rift Scuttler, so they have vision.
A ping is a way you can signal on the map to your teammates to either call their attention to or various things.
Nice pick on the Katarina there. She comes in trying to kill Jamie on his blue buff again. He is not having that, but it looks like the blue team is starting up that Dragon. Caitlyn's hiding in the Cole flashes away. Here comes the Q. Oh, Caitlyn just barely dodges it. Vi is still on the Dragon, knocking it down. Team's having a hard time engaging. This is really scary. They get the Dragon, but the Set goes in 2v3. Here comes the Vi as well. Looks like, oh, Joe cannot quite heal up. It's so close. Now it looks like Cole, it might be the target, but Cole's able to get away on the Blast Cone. Volibear running away. Looks like only one goes down. Here comes Nami. They're able to root the Set. Here's a 1-for-1. They trade back. Here's disengage. The Nami. Julia throws out the ult. Just Julia showing up at such a critical time there to make sure that the Set goes down. Now they're fighting over this monster in the jungle.
I notice sometimes a white bar showing up on the health. What does that signify?
A white bar showing up on the health. That shows that that character is shielded.
Okay.
So they temporarily get can absorb a certain amount of damage that they would otherwise take. Great question.
Thank you. I should know that.
Here comes the Lux ult to clear the minion wave.
They're afraid to lose another tower. Must be.
Yeah, it looks like they've shortened up the gold lead a little bit. Looks like it's only 4,500 now instead of 1,000. So.
Wonder what the Lux is planning to purchase. Let's take a look in chat.
Oh yeah, it looks like Nate has got a blasting wand, which gives him a huge amount of ability power for the next fight. So, really be looking for him to deal a lot of damage.
Do you know what the Farsight alteration does? One thing I know is Nate knows his items very well, and it always seems like he's purchasing like the right item for the right situation.
Yeah, absolutely. The Farsight alteration is a ward that you can place really far away. Looks like they're trying to invade Jamie's jungle here. Here comes Set. But our team is ready to respond. Here comes Vi, too. Looks like they're going to go in. Joe walks
3v2.
away. Set gets them in the... Oh, Vi is able to kill Joe, but it looks like they're going to pick up the
There we go.
Vi. Here comes Katarina. Oh,
Boom.
Katarina is able to dash onto Jamie. She has so much mobility and ability to kill those low health champions. Both trying to get away, but Katarina uses her ult. She eats some tower shots, but she's able to get away. Unfortunately, Set catches Julia. Julia is able to get under the tower. Katarina gets a triple kill. Last tower shot, not going to be quite enough. And unfortunately, the whole red team goes down. That Katarina. Nate did such a good job keeping her down in the laning phase, but she has the ability to come back later in the game by picking up those kills with her incredible mobility. Looks like blue team's going to be pressuring this bot tower. They're up to the inhibitor tower here. If they lose this tower, they'll be in a pretty rough spot. But then Set is also pressuring them top and crashing a wave in there. Looks like they're going to be able to D-push. They're not going to lose either of these towers, I don't think. Looks like
Yeah, the
Cole
red team is back already.
and Nate are ready to D-push this wave. Here comes Jamie. We'll see if this
Chase.
temporary
They're gonna
speed boost
chase.
is enough to throw him over his shoulders. Looks like it's going to run out just short. Good idea, though. That would have been a good pick. Red team does have vision on the Baron. We'll switch over their vision really quickly. You can see that they can see this monster. So if the blue team tries to start it up, start fighting it, our friends will know. And so that would be a great time to fight them because Baron actually deals a lot of damage to the team that's fighting it. So here comes a Luxalt. Huge amount of damage out of Nate. Not quite enough to kill Katarina, unfortunately. She's become quite strong. She only had 1 kill before, but after that last series of plays, she's up to 4 kills. So that's a fair amount of gold in her pockets that gives her more items. Looks like Jamie's hiding in this bush. He knows that the blue team can't see him here, so he might be able to sneak up on them. They're looking for a numbers mismatch. Blue only has 2 people here, 3 people on up to the side of the map. This might be the fight they're looking for. Nate lands a Q. Oof, they disengage. Blue team choosing the better part of Valor here, but they were so precariously positioned.
I wonder if they're going to now try to hit an objective. It looks like they're still grouping there in the middle of the map.
Yeah, it looks like Julia and Nate and Joe going home, trying to get items, trying to get strong for this next fight because the dragon is up soon. Enemy team already has 3 dragons. 4th dragon, they get a huge bonus. 4 dragons is a special, gives them a special extra buff that is very strong. So our friends really want to contest this. They're looking for a pick so they can fight that at a mismatch. They might be able to set here. Here he comes. He's running into 2 people. Yeah, fighting in the jungle is so hard. Yeah. They land the Q and the Katarina, and there's the pick they were looking for. Here comes the Yuumi ult, but it's not going to do anything. That's a really important cooldown burn. The dragon is up, and the blue team only has 4 members, and the blue team burned the Yuumi ult.
So yeah, that's smart for the red to go in while they have a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, and they have complete vision control in here. We just have to zone them off. Look, the enemy Vi is trying to come over the back and steal the dragon. Oh, she steals the dragon. What a play. Let's see if the red team fires them for it, though. Cole kills the Set. Caitlyn Yuumi deals a bunch of damage. Here comes the Q from Cole. Cole dies. Nate's there. Let's see. His ultimate is up. If he can land a Q ult combo. Oh, not quite enough. So close on the Caitlyn there. Unfortunately, Red loses 4 and kills 2 and loses the dragon. It's a pretty big setback. It's a pretty big setback. They were able to pick up some kills, which is good. Goal deficit now looks at about 9,000. That's a lot. I've been beaten when I've had a 9,000 gold lead. I've come back when the enemy team has a 9,000 gold lead. It's certainly possible, but fighting at a deficit right now.
I'm guessing here, shot calling. Blue team might try to go for that Rift Herald or the Baron at this point. Oh, is it not up? They don't have vision on it.
Yeah, it is up. No one has vision on it now, but I think you're absolutely right. What they're going to try to do is see how the blue waves are coming in towards the red base. And this is exactly the position they want our friends in, where they're basically forced to choose between pushing these waves away or going to the Baron pit. Luckily, it looks like the waves are going to be met by the allied waves, so they shouldn't crash into the tower. So looks like, yeah, Jamie's coming in here, trying to get vision control on the Baron, so that they know if they're doing that. This is exactly what red team needs to be doing. Um, and yeah, they're doing all the right things. Here comes Vi. Jamie's hiding, looking for that pick.
But they have Vi pinched. Oh, there we go.
Oh, she
Over the
charged
wall.
over the wall. Vi, very escapable. Looks like they've got 3 in the bottom lane. They've got Caitlyn and Katarina. Meanwhile,
And they
our
have
friends
Yumi.
are still fighting Vi in the bot lane. Vi is so good at doing Baron. If they kill her, Baron might be off the table for the blue team, but looks like blue team is countering by pushing in the bot lane with Katarina, Caitlyn, and Yumi. Here comes Nate to D-push.
Yeah, they have yet to get an inhibitor, so if they do get one, that'll give their minions and they'll have to spend a lot more time taking care of the minions.
Caitlyn goes over, or Katarina goes over the wall looking for Cole and Nate. She finds Nate and Cole valiantly trying to stay alive, but the Yumi's on top of her. Looks like Jamie might get the kill on the Caitlyn there. That's a huge
Shut
amount
down.
of gold for Jamie. So, but it's a 3-for-1 in favor of the blue team. Looks like they have Julia as well. Joe trying to defend this tower with Volibear, Jamie on Volibear, but it looks like they're gonna get finished off here. This might be the game here. They have waves coming in. They might be able to kill Joe under tower with all of the healing coming out from Yumi. Uses ult to try to get away, but the Set is able to pick him up. Set takes 3 turret shots,
Wow.
so many tower shots. He's so
much health to
strong.
survive that.
Yeah. The teams that our friends have played today have just been so good. And I think they've been making a lot of the right calls in order to counter it, but it looks like actually the death timers are pretty short. But they've already
back
got
up already.
They've got inhibitor. They're about to take top inhibitor. Here comes in all. Oh, nice! Julia gets the shutdown on the Vi, but they got to be careful with this Katarina. She can still do a lot of damage. She comes in. She comes up a little bit short. Look at those health bars on the red team. They're able to get away, but blue team gets the last inhibitor, and now our friends are just in such a tough spot because super minions are going to be crashing in every lane, and the Baron is up.
Yeah, if you have to deal with all 5 champions and then also super minions in 3 lanes, it's going to be a tall order to fill.
It is. But our friends have raised a huge amount for. They've got almost 2 full masks for charity this game. Let's see if they can maybe pick up 1 more point per kill to get 2 full masks in this game.
Look at them all travel together. Looks like they're kind of going in for a last good fight here.
Yeah, they know what they want to do. They're getting Baron control. Looks like starting up the Baron. This is a bold play. The blue team is responding. Are they going to come off the Baron when the blue team comes? Are they going to try to burn it down? I guess we'll see. Here comes Cole to Q. He lands the ult, takes a huge amount of damage off, but here comes the Set. They're not able to quite burn the Baron down. He comes in with the ult. She kills a lot of people. There goes Jamie.
Yeah. Killing the Nami is a smart call because the Nami has a lot of healing as well as that big wave to literally CC the whole team.
And Katarina gets the coveted pentakill, which means Katarina personally killed every member of our friends team. Here the super minions crashing into the base. Yeah, our friends had to kind of make a desperation call there, make a big haymaker swing for the fences. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out. The minions are going to finish off the Nexus before the enemy team can even get there, but well fought by our friends, and for charity, they got a bunch of points for charity. I haven't added it all up yet, but they donated a significant number of masks, both to people here in the Twin Cities and also to people in Arkansas. So thanks to them all for playing, and thanks to you all for watching. This is really fun.
We have a guest here for a final post tournament interview. Jamie, I have a question for you.
If he wants to.
Oh, I didn't realize I was actually in the voice chat. I thought I was just watching the stream.
Oh, you are in the chat.
You are,
watching the stream.
You're on the official stream
live.
Great. I'm happy to take some questions.
Jamie, what was your favorite moment of the Clash tournament today?
Oh, that's a good question.
Or is there a moment that a teammate had that you would like to pat them on the back for?
Yes. I don't remember a lot of specific moments. It feels like I just played 3 games of League in a row. But I did feel like we at least had good communication. That was fun, talking to each other a lot about useful things. And there were some great, in that last game, great Lux, Roots, and Laser that allowed us good picks by Nate that unfortunately couldn't turn the game around, but like helped us stay in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, some of those just came so close to killing key members of the enemy team. Just like came up just like barely short.
So close.
Yeah.
One thing that for me was tough was the middle game where Fiddlesticks kept robbing you of the jungle. There was a moment
That
where
was so obnoxious.
there was a moment where you wandered over to get two groups of minions, or not minions, but those creatures, and they were both gone, and I was sad for you.
Yeah, I didn't realize like that whole game. I was confused about why none.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew what was happening, but I hadn't played.
Fiddlesticks kept going back to your jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was so painful to watch too because we weren't even really sure what he was doing at first because he went in
I
and
wanted
placed
to
an
reach
initial
out
ward.
back in time and tell you about it, but there's nothing that we could do.
Yeah, yeah, but because he started on your wolves actually, he stole that first.
That was his first camp. Wow.
Yeah, it was
weird.
your wolves.
That's so weird.
So
Okay.
really sneaky
I've
there.
never seen that before.
No,
That's
me neither. Yeah, Justin and I were like, "What's happening here?"
It was surprising. It was also like kind of impressive to watch him do that so well. So you could tell that they've done that, executed that same play multiple times or a lot before.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, I thought we were watching our jungle too. It looked like we had. I guess there was that one entrance we didn't have covered, but like, who goes to your wolves, right?
Yeah, yeah. And the team comp in that game so hard to play against with the Shen and the Fiddlesticks and the Galio. Like the team fight potential there was just staggering, and kind of almost. We've been talking a lot about the phases of the team fight, and what I noticed about that was they kind of violated that in a way, like the kind of typical phases of the team fight, because the combo was so intense that they could kind of just like all in you. You know what I mean? They could just kind of like skip. It's like their engage and their like kill the backline phase was like the same. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they'd like jump on you and kill the like lower health characters so quickly. It seemed like
with the fiddle, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. As I was watching that, it made me think about if I was in this game, what would I be doing to try and counter that, because it just seems so oppressive and difficult to deal with. And I didn't have a good answer, So like,
Right.
I'm not sure what I would have done. It just seemed really difficult.
It did seem really good. I agree. I think that I should have probably made more of an effort to invade Fiddlesticks in his jungle, because it wouldn't take too long before I'd be at a point where he had a hard time. One.
You're kind of cutting in and out, Jamie. Do you think maybe you could like leave the channel and then like jump back in? Sometimes that helps.
Absolutely.
Am I better now?
Hopefully.
Okay. All I was saying was I thought maybe I should have been invading Fiddle in his jungle more, because it wouldn't have taken too long. Early on, I think Dr. Moon is very weak in 1v1s, but it doesn't take too long before it gets to a point, especially with a squishy AP champion like Fiddlesticks, where I could have been dueling him pretty easily. So that probably would have been a way to try to change my game plan that I didn't think of at the time.
Yeah, but potentially.
I was thinking to myself, man, I wish Jamie would just trade with Fiddlesticks the other way, but really you got to play your own game. You can't just trade it, like completely switch up everything that you're doing because of the opponent always. So I don't know, it's a hard call to make.
Yeah, and it was hard to follow what he was doing too. He takes the camp so fast. It's like, oh, I didn't even realize he could have come and taken my raptors at this point or whatever.
Yeah, and that game had a fight at the very end there, where you actually catch the Fiddlesticks right north, or like right behind the Dragon Pit, and it looks like the fight that's going to turn it all around, because he's been so problematic in the team fights, and he has that clutch Zonias, and it's like you all were just like so close. Like I feel so strongly that if you were able to burst him down right there, that not necessarily that you're like for sure would have won, but like that was like such a powerful in back into the game, and his Zonia is just like,
Yeah,
it broke my heart.
It was really unfortunate, that one. Yeah.
So, but I mean, that was a great opportunity, and Justin and I were talking about that game of, when you're playing at a goal deficit, like what are you trying to do, and that kind of pick is exactly it. And I think in a lot of the games we saw you fishing for those picks, and sometimes they worked and sometimes they didn't. But that's definitely what you have to do.
Yeah, hard to know what to do exactly.
Yeah, it was so much fun watching you and casting it. I'm sorry that there weren't any wins in there for you all. I don't know if that was frustrating, but it was so fun to watch everybody, and yeah. So thanks for playing.
It was
I had a
so
great
fun.
time.
I'm glad you guys did that. That's fun. It seems fun for you guys too.
Yeah.
It was.
That's great.
Hopefully, we'll get a replay.
I still am looking for a win before I get offline tonight. So
Mhm.
if you want to play any,
Yeah, I think
Sure.
this is a good time to end the stream and play a little League of Legends ourselves. So
All right. Thanks everyone for hopping in and watching the stream. Thanks, Mom.
yeah, thanks to the moms who are watching and everyone else who are not moms. Regardless of your mom status, we appreciate you. But yeah, and maybe we'll see you next time for the next Clash.
Cheers, everyone.
Good night.
Thanks, Joseph.
Thank you, Justin.